I remember I had sent Gabe a flyer for Punk versus Hardcore, and because Gabe had asked years ago, like, "Oh, is anybody a flyer?" I sent you one, and immediately you were just like, "I got this."
Oh yeah.
Just sent back one that was like 100 times more sick than the one we had.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It's like I never wanted to be like the flyer guy.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like, I think once we came back, it was just kind of like, man, like, what our issue was in the past was like we had no direction. You know, like our demo was like a strong release. I mean, we got signed off the demo for Media Scare, and then the EP was just kind of like the songs that we didn't feel were strong enough, but we're like, well, we got to release them because we have it all.
Right.
And then Bite Bag was kind of like a scatterbrain of like, oh, we like Acacia Strain, and we like Comeback Kid, but I'm a big fan of like, you know, like Withdraw's Canadian band. And it's like, so we just kind of like, you know, mashed all the vibes together, whatever. So we never really had a direction. So when we came back, my whole thing was like, we got to have a direction. Like, you know, and Angry Brigade was just like straight, just hardcore punk or whatever. Like, it's not really heavy. Like my drummer, so that's the one thing he just hates about it. He's like, the songs are like fine, but they're just not like heavy, you know? And so that's why with the new shit, he's like, we got to make it heavier. Like everything, you know, if it's gonna be heavy, got to be heavy. And but yeah, my whole thing is just trying to uphold like an image, a direction,
Right,
in everything.
some consistency across.
Yeah, exactly. You know, even like New Age. You know, every time I send him a shirt design, he'll tell me like, I just love how consistent it all is.
Yeah.
You know, it's just black and white, but it's all like just consistent, like threshold or high contrast or whatever. And but yeah, with the flower stuff, you know, we came back, we got we got Inland Hardcore had invited us to do The Void, and he sent me the flyer, and it was just like, it was kind of rough. I was like, yeah, man, I can't come back, you know, like this, you know. So I redid that flyer too, and it was like a skull getting like smashed with a hammer, and it said like, come get your head smashed or something like that. And everybody was like, holy shit, like that's sick, you know. And that's kind of like where just snowballs from there, like, oh, do the flyer and shit. But yeah, my whole thing was just like, I got to just try to like keep this consistency of like, I don't know, like the hardcore punk thing, you know, 'cause that's like that's my vibe, you know. Like we talked about it before. Yeah, you know, I just like that cut and paste style, the high contrast photocopy shit. And yeah, I mean, like Jason even said too, you know, like that's where I came up from. You know, I used to watch my brother, you know, cut and paste. He's played in a band called In Opposition, and he would just sit there and just cut letters out of magazine.
Did I know that?
Like, what?
Did I know that about your brother?
I don't know.
I don't think you knew that. It doesn't sound like
he did. He did In Opposition, and then he did a grind band called Dorn. But yeah, he would sit with like, get all these scratch magazines. He would grab like 4 at Showcase or the Barn, you know, whatever, and he would just go home and start just cutting out letters, letter by letter, and it's just like, fuck, out of his fucking mind, dude. And he would just sit there, glue. And I feel like I got a lot of like my DIY ethics from like watching him do all that.
Dude,
you know? Like I always thought it was cool, and he'd just sit there with his, I mean, he has like, to me, like the best handwriting ever, you know. And it's just like, I tell him, like, I'd like burn a seat and like, hey, can you write, you know, whatever. Because like yours it'll look good if you write it and shit. But yeah, my brother was the one that really set the tone for like the punk thing and the ethics and whatever. So now when I do these flyers, I tell everybody, you know, like, oh, how much do you charge? Like, well, I charge this, but it's probably going to be black and white.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's like,
it's not going to be flashy.
Yeah. If it's color, it's only because I felt like I was able to work in the color.
Right.
But otherwise, like, it's still going to look like high contrast to you.
Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very clear.
What's that?
Oh, you said up, dude. So you did it wrong.
Oh, I know. Fuck.
What's everybody?
What's everybody?
What's everybody? All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast. Podcast where we like to normalize checking in on your homies. This is episode 131. Doing everything really out of order. I'm Mike. That is also Mike. And dude, we have a returning guest, and I feel like we're gonna probably only get to about half what we want to talk about. Last time.
Have you come back again?
Yeah. So we'll just recurring guest, our boy Gabe Ochoa. Darasuum.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
Dude, thanks for coming.
Always.
Hanging. We've already been talking for like an hour.
Yeah.
But
Still not enough.
Still not enough.
No.
Last time you were here, we pretty much barely scratched the surface of like you actually playing music, bands and everything. So I think we need to jump into that.
Yeah.
Today.
Do it, yeah. I know, it was like the one thing I was like, yeah, we didn't get to talk about like Darasuum and like or Bound in Blood, like like how life outside of archiving, or whatever. But yeah, I'm stoked to.
Let's start with Bound in Blood.
Yeah. I had no intentions of ever really doing a band. It was because of Mike Milford from Scars of Tomorrow, who I did like one like feature or whatever guest vocal spot at Showcase. Bound in Blood was doing a show with Champion, Welcome to Your Life, Scars of Tomorrow, and Gone Without Trace, I believe. And they were like, oh, like, get up and do this one part in the song. And once I did it, Milford told my drummer, like, get rid of your singer and get Gabe in the band. And that's what they did. They're like, yeah, like, whatever you say, you're on Victory Record. Like, they like looked up to him as, like, this big, rock star kind of guy. And so once I joined that, it was just like, all right, well, you guys aren't going to be a Christian band anymore because I want to make it a straight edge band. And that's just what I did, man. It's just like, they had a whole full length ready to go, which turned out to be the Inland Empire Beatdown full length. And I think the old singer had, I think like 3 or 4 songs already written, but like one of the songs was like too edgy, in the sense of like he was attacking like a certain family that had just dealt with like a tragedy, and so we went through and kind of like changed all those lyrics out or something. But outside of that, my whole goal was like I got to make every song fucking straight edge. It's just I mean my favorite bands were just all straight at that point. So like 10 Yard Fight, Throwdown, so Strife. It's like I was just like gotta fucking be straight edge band. And so once I joined, we just fucking took off, and I don't even know how we became like a showcase band. I tell people now, like, I don't know how fast it was for like No Bragging Rights. I feel like you guys kind of had like a slow climb. But like for Bound in Blood, it was like 2002 we're like opening for like all these bands. By 2003 we're headlining over like Uphill Battle, who were on Relapse or whatever. And I mean we were like selling out Showcase by like the end of 2003 or 2004, something like that. And it was just like I don't know, like it's just not how it is now.
Yeah.
And I tell people like, back then, you just pass out a demo at a show, and if you're playing the next week, it's gonna be packed. And all those fucking people are singing along, and it's, like it's like an overnight audience. If you just pass out CDs now, not so much like that.
Well, I mean, I feel like we had this conversation, but do you still have a CD player in your car?
No. So what's funny is I went to Subaru. And we were looking at all the cars or whatever, and I was like, well, I like this Crosstrek, but does one come with a CD player? Like, oh yeah, well you have to go like to like a premium or something. And I was like, oh, well, that's what I want then, because I need a CD player.
Yeah.
And they ordered it, and we went and picked it up. We signed all the paper. We're like, yeah, sick, like it looks cool, whatever, fuck. And there's like a line where I guess the CD player would go, and I thought that like just glance at everything, because they're like going through like this is where this is that, blah blah. And I thought that line was like where the CD was at. And I was like, okay, cool, like whatever, yeah, let's go. I got a new car, So we go sign the papers, and I'm pulling out, and it's like, it starts by Scandia, and get on the freeway, and I'm like, I call my wife, I'm like, there's no fucking CD player in this car. She goes, I thought we ordered one CD player. She's like, hold on, I'm gonna call him back right now. And she called them, and we're like, yo, can we just add one in? They're like, no. But apparently cars today, even my dad's car, which is like a 2019 or something like that, they stopped putting CD players in cars. And it's just like man, like now I just have a pile of CDs I can't listen to.
USB.
Yeah. So when my dad did, he got like a CD player Walkman, and like has like a Bluetooth connection to it, and so that's how he listens to his CDs. So he's always telling me like, oh yeah, just get the Bluetooth. Look at this is how, I'm just like, I can't do all that.
That's too much work.
Yeah. but even now, like if I have CDs, I won't listen to it. Like it's on iTunes and all that shit, But I won't listen to it on iTunes. I'll wait until I have the time to listen to the CD.
Right.
It's like I want that proper.
Yeah.
I don't know, like that proper listen, I guess. With the insert in my hand, looking at the artwork and studying and stuff like that. Like I'm still that guy.
Yeah.
So
That's sick.
Yeah, like even we got back from Paris, whatever, and I picked up a couple CDs, and yeah, it took me a few days to get to them, but it was just like yeah, man, like I gotta just like I can't listen to it in the car. Like my wife's car has a CD or a CD player, but it's like they don't like listen to metalcore or hardcore, you know, at that.
Just switch cars, you know.
Well, at this point, that's what we're doing. So
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of your head, is there a CD of yours that skips and it drives you nuts because it's like it's?
I'm sure there is. I might have like a Chimera one that This Present Darkness that I think skips, but I listen or Disciple too, like. I just listen to the hell out of all my throwdown CDs, maybe, but I always get those skips where it's just like da 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 da, like it's not like a da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's just it just pummels through the fucking, the 20 seconds, and that's it. So
I don't know why this is what jarred a memory for me is my I had Link 80 the 17 reasons, yeah, and I think it was like just the last like 2 songs just don't even exist. Like they were just gone. And I was like, "There's more songs than this. They're here."
That's one of the Harvester of Sorrow too. I think it's like one of the last couple songs too.
I think so.
Yeah,
the song that you don't get to listen to.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that CD is like a pivotal point for me. That and Killing Katie. It was like those albums because they cover Earth Crisis. They do Street by Street and Dime Store Hood. And man, I remember hearing that. I'm like, what is that? And then they did Killing Katie, and they went even like more proper breakdowns and shit.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is what I want more of. Like, what is that? Where do they get that from? And mind you, I had already seen Strife, and it was Link 80 that was like put me over, for hardcore. But yeah, the Link 80 is like I talked to the guitar player Adam, and like I when I first met him, I went on and on about like how important Link 80 was.
Dude, Link 80 was so
yeah, and I will never not give him the roses, for being my gateway to hardcore bands. It's like, even though I was overseeing, I seen Notice a Victim, I seen Straight Face, and all these other hardcore like Union 13s, but like it was Link 80, man, that was just like, I want that aggression,
dude. And the way for them being like in that era, like ska punk, but still very obviously way more punk, but they had that element of hardcore, which a lot of bands didn't have.
Yeah, and they were like straight edge dudes
in
that band too. Like I think most of them who were straight edge are still straight edge.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they've held on to those values. Like Adam does Omnigon now, and I think it's an all straight edge band as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's like sick, I mean, it's not. I don't think they're as aggressive as Link 80, but it's a good extension of what maybe Link 80 would have kind of like turned into. So,
dang, I want to hear that now.
But yeah,
I want to hear that now.
Yeah, and it sucks. I don't get a chance to ever talk Link 80 because nobody knows Link 80. And then when I tell them like, oh, the ska, no, like we don't. I don't do ska. Ska's too heavy. Like I remember being in high school and there was a kid Matt that always used to give me shit about like he was like a big Pennywise, No Effects, like Fat Records type kid. And he would always give me shit about ska. I'm just like, dude, like, I love it. Like, I mean, like I'm like, you're an asshole. I'm not. Like, I tell you something. Like, it's like that ska it was in my heart, dude. Like, I love it. Like,
we just had this conversation at practice the other night, last week, and I was talking to Steve because Steve plays in Voodoo.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what it is. I was like, I think it's just the horns. Like I think it's the horns
that you don't like.
That I don't like.
Oh, you're insane, dude. Baila de los Locos, Banging Mafia is like, dude. Those 2 albums. I mean, like Feed Man and Who Is This Is. Great albums too. But man, Baila and Banging Mafia are just, especially with that, like the second or third song, Banging Mafia is just fucking banger.
Dude, the fucking intro, hum Pinata.
Oh yeah,
dude. And so that was dude. Steve was like, dog, like if you literally can just get past the horns, like these are fucking rippers. Like it like just like maybe horns aren't for you, but everything else rips. And I was like, all right,
but they have like a good horn section. Like I feel like bands like Real Big Fish, Less Than J. I mean, they were like good, but like man, if you got a band like Blue Meanies, man, like even their fucking horn section was just so technical, you know, super fucking fast, and it's just like I didn't know you could do that with the trumpet. You know, that's insane, you know. But yeah, like, but if they had a good horn section, like it just only added to the intensity. Like that's why like Link 80 too, like they use it to like. Yeah, you know, for aggression. And
yeah, it's like gritty.
Dude, yeah, like again, like their cover of Harvester of Sorrow is just fucking like it's so heavy and it's all horns, you know, that are like fill in those little gaps. And it's just like, man, like that has to be the heaviest fucking horn section, dude.
I'll give it another shot. I'm open.
I mean, if you're like set with like not liking, if you not liked all these years, probably not gonna change your mind. But like you could probably like go like. Like I kind of get what they're doing now.
I think it's not that I like had this strong dislike. I just like I would hear probably like the cornier horn sections, and I'd be like, this doesn't do it for me. Whatever, you know. And like,
if you're listening to like Jeffrey's Fan Club, and Low Pressure, and all, you're gonna be like, this is corny stuff. Aquabats, you know, like I mean, all that's like cool, like when you're like. Young and impressionable, but like even now, like it's hard for me to like go back and listen to like a lot of that like third wave ska. Like I stick with a lot of like either like ska core now or like the 80s and like 70s ska stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, ska, dude.
I'm open to giving it another shot.
There's also I think also something too about like
being a Hispanic kid in the 90s. I mean, and listening to those songs and being like,
I wasn't gonna go there, but I think just like seeing like those bands specifically at that time.
Yeah,
you know, to get,
maybe that's what I missed. Yeah, that's probably what.
Yeah, you weren't at the barn experiencing.
If I saw it would have been a different thing.
Yeah,
which is like, this shouldn't work. This looks ridiculous, and then it's like. In the moment, it's like the hardest shit because it's like I don't know, voodoo back in the day and
they were playing with. I mean, I saw Strive with Voodoo Glow Skulls. That was like my, you know, that was like my introduction, like I guess a hardcore or at least straight edge. You know, it was my first time seeing that amount of straight edge people in one room at the Glass House. I remember Rick Rodney was like, you said some speech and he just yelled straight edge. And you just see all these fucking people with the X's, and I'm just like.
You're like, my people.
I wasn't even straight edge then. Yeah. I knew of it because like we listened. Me and my brother listened to like Minor Threat. I mean, me and my brother got in a fist fight over the Minor Threat VHS at 930 Club, and you know, so like I knew what straight edge was, but it wasn't until like Shutdown played the Barn and Mark. I mean, they were, and I think because too, Shutdown were like 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds or something like that, and I was like 13, and I could like. Almost relate to them, you know, like they looked young, and for me it was just like, oh man, like, and he's going on and on about like straight edge about, you know, whatever, and I remember just going home and being like, told my brother like, you know, I think I want to explore this like straight edge thing. I think I want to be straight edge. Like I already don't, you know, align myself with, you know, that, you know, those things.
Had you done anything prior to that?
Yeah, I think smoking was the only thing that like stuck with me for like a month. I used to steal my mom's cigarettes, and but that, and I tell everybody this, but it's only because Kurt Cobain did it. So you can only imagine, had I known he was on heroin, I would have been like, yeah.
Whole different game, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, it was so. But I tried smoking only because of Kurt Cobain. I would see him in interviews on MTV and stuff, and I'd be like, well, my mom has him right there. Like, we might as well just check it out, you know. But my brother had asthma, but him and I would go. Where Food for Less is at now, we're in California. It used to be a Smith's, and me and my brother used to walk up that hill right next to that area or whatever, and I would just smoke my cigarettes out there with him, and he'd be there like, I can't believe you do that on it, blah, blah, blah. And then once I was straight edge, then he started smoking, you know, and I was just like, you know, I was like, well, what happened to your asthma, dude, you know? But yeah, it's only smoking, and I probably had I tried 3 beers. I had a Natural Light was my very first beer, and everybody said that's where it went wrong. Yeah, and which fair, yeah, you know. And then I had like my dad's Budweiser, and I might have I had a Coors at one point. I was in 4th grade when I had my Natural Light. I used to talk to this girl Arlene, and her mom used to let her Arlene
in
drink
4th grade.
4th grade, yeah. What? And that's how I tried my beer. She's like, "Oh, here."
Crazy.
Yeah. So that's how my first beer was Arlene's mom, and then my dad was passed out one time, with his beer in his hand, and me and my brother took it and we drank it. And it's like both times I was just like what do they get out of this? And then my oldest brother, he tricked me into thinking tequila was Sprite, and you know, and so you know, realistically, everything was just kind of like unexpected, and because of the unexpected, it made everything just nastier.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm expecting Sprite. You know, had he told me like it's gonna be kind of strong, it's gonna be bitter or burning or whatever, I would have like, you know, sipped it or whatever. But because I expected Sprite, my brain was like, what the fuck? And but yeah, it's just that's it. 1 tequila shot, 3 beers,
and some cigarettes.
Yeah, some cigarettes, and that was it. You know, but I never. Like just the way we grew up, you know, like my mom was in and out of jail for like drugs. My dad was kind of like an abusive alcoholic, and you know, I already knew like I didn't want to be like that, you know. And I'm the baby out of my brothers, and when my mom kind of like, you know, neglected us, it only hit harder, you know, because like she'd be locked up in her room or whatever the fuck, doing whatever she does, and I'd just be kicking at her door like, you know, mom, or whatever the fuck. And so all that shit just like stuck with me, and all I knew was like I'm never gonna be like that.
Yeah.
So, and I remember even one time we stole Downward Spiral, Nine Inch Nails album with the cassette. It was like a double cassette, and I remember listening to that in my room at my mom's house, and I was just like, I'm never gonna be like mom, like fuck, you know, fuck all that or whatever. And I just stuck to it. So even before I knew what straight edge was, I was already like on this path of like never wanted to be that anyway. But Shutdown was the one that really like, you know, like made it make sense to me to be like, I'm gonna do that. And my brother was so mad. That's how punk my brother was. My brother was like so like anarcho punk and like all this shit. He used to be like, that whole audience are a bunch of jocks and no. And I was like, they're not really, you know. But like you know, he was like seeing like, you know, like the image of like Mouthpiece and Youth of Today, Floor Punch, you know, they're all like in their varsity jackets and shit. But yeah, I mean, I guess in hindsight, you know, like hardcore kids are pretty jockey a little bit. Yeah, you know, like they kind of like, you know, they could be bullies and shit, you know. And you know, I wasn't, you know, immune to like being that product of the environment as well. You know, Garza, you know, could attest to that. You know, I used to pick on him all the time at shows. But yeah, it's just interesting. Just like, you know, now like I'm all like near my 40s, and I'm just like, I try to tell these people like, stop.
Hey, don't do that, man.
I mean, you're gonna look back and it's gonna be fucking cringe for you guys to know that you did all this dumb shit or wanted to act on whatever decisions like you're thinking about doing. Like,
but then we just sound like the angry old guys.
of course, yeah. Yeah. But like, you know, like it's, you know, it's like my parents used to say like, you think we don't know. But like we were there, we'd been there, done that as well. You know, like I tell about I was talking to my dad like a month ago or something about we used to do a napkin trick. You know, like when you don't like somebody spinning the napkin, he goes, "Oh, I used to do that too." Yeah. You know, and it's like he's like, then you start realizing like we all did the same shit our parents did. Dude. You know, and it's just like, you know. So I just try to tell these new kids like, just fuck all that.
How old's your oldest?
He's 40. So my brother's 40. I think he's 40. Gonna be 45.
Oh, your oldest kid.
Oh, my oldest kid. Yes, she's gonna be 7 next month. Yeah,
dude. Once they hit like 12, 13, 14, I swear, like I'm like with this one, I'm watching her just do the shit that she swears I don't know that she's doing, and I'm like,
I'm the master of this.
I was so good at doing what you're doing right now. Don't do this, but you have to let them. You know, let them make the mistakes. Let them get in trouble. But it's like,
yeah. I mean, like me and my wife talk about, you know, like you know, how are we gonna cross that bridge when we get there? You know, and a lot of it to her, you know, I mean, she's a counselor. I mean, she got like a master's degree and all this shit. You know, to her, it's just like, just communicate, keep the communication open, honest, and just, you know, no secrets, basically. You know, and that way, there's always that trust factor. And even when I was like in middle school, my very first girlfriend. Her parents sort of had like the same mentality until we took advantage of it, of course. But the same thing, you know, like she would pick me up and like, you know, like chauffeur us around like wherever we wanted to go. But yeah, you know, we talk about that though. Like we're gonna get to that point eventually, and you know, we'll navigate all those waters once we get there. But as of right now, it's like, can we just enjoy her being 6? You know, like let's you know, when we get there, we'll worry about it. Like. let's let her be 6. But we have to remind her though, like, Scout, you are 6.
Yeah.
Like, you're still a baby. Like,
Yeah.
relax, you know. I want to wear makeup, and you know, she comebacks for days now, dude. She'd be like, "What are you doing now?" And that's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right, huh? Like, but,
Had the opportunity to grow up with hearing my nieces who are 6 and 8.
mm-hmm.
Same thing. The makeup and all that stuff
Yeah.
is like a thing for them, and then also just like these comments, dude. I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
I would have never gotten away with like
Yeah.
saying
Dude,
shit
I
to
kind of
my
have
parents.
this rule, like with Emily, like if she's talking back, whatever, we'll address it. But like if she roasts me hard enough to where I'm like impressed, she's not in trouble. I'm like, all right, yeah, you
Be
did
clever.
that.
Be good about it.
Yeah, so yeah, sometimes like my daughter will say shit to my wife, and I just like turn around like chuckle. And my wife will like acknowledge it, like that was pretty good too. Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, sometimes you can't help it. It's like those like the darndest thing kids say. You know, like it's so funny, dude. You know, my son too. Everything in him sucks. He's on this kick. This sucks. That sucks. You know, and everything, dude. And until he tries it, then he's like, not bad. Like croissants.
So he's been
I
with
hate
you when you're
croissants.
listening to CDs.
Yeah, like right now, like he likes listening to like he's on a Tears for Fears kick, which is like
Sick.
great, you know, because
Awesome.
yeah, and it's so funny. He'll just be in his room dancing and shit, Tears for Fears. But like otherwise, you know, he'll like make me put on like BTS. He loves BTS too, or you know, a couple of the songs from BTS anyway. And but it's just so funny, like some of the shit he says. He'll be singing it like all loud and like driving my wife and I. It's kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's fucking cute.
It's
dude.
it's great.
You know, especially when he gets like super loud and tries to like project his voice. It's like, yes, you know, I love it. It's like I get my guitar and I'll play them like I learned a ton of Oasis songs when they were babies, so I could play to them when they're in their cribs, and it's just great to see that like I like to think it worked. You know, for them to be like stoked on music, because that's how my dad raised us, and we were raised on Headbangers Ball, and you know, he's just like constant music. Just go to sleep to King Diamond or Violence or something. You know, wake up and to Exodus and Testament. You know, and here's your guitar, guys. Here's your drum pad. Like, let's go. You know, jam to the Rockin' Moscow show, like Bon Jovi, Cinderella, like, you know, like, and like all we would do is, you know, like just play guitars and shit. So my dad from the get go just knew like they're gonna be music fans. I'm gonna make them music fans, and it just worked. Like, I only imagine how proud he is. Like, you know, like my kids do like doing music. I toured a Sepultura, you know, with Suicide Silence.
Yeah.
And I remember telling him like that, and he was just like amazing. Like,
He's
you
like,
know?
"We did it.
Yeah.
We did it."
Yeah.
He's like, "We did it."
Yeah, I mean, I guess people would be like, yeah, I was a Sepultura because of Derek era, but still, you know, like, we were sold on the idea on that tour, because that was when I was tour managing them, but when we got the offer, they were like, oh, this is going to be Igor and Max or whatever, and then it turned into like, oh, it's just going to be Igor, and we're like, still sick, like, great, and then it was like, it's not going to be Igor now. You know, it's going to be like the 12 Stones drummer and Derek or whatever, but Andreas and Paulo are still going to be there. We're like, still Sepultura. Like, it's still the name, you know.
Still the name.
Yeah,
And what, man, those dudes though, like, I've met some like metalcore bands, you know, whatever the fuck, I'm touring with them. Just assholes, dude. And it's like, you meet Sepultura, Sepultura is like the nicest, like humble dudes like you will ever meet. Like, they'll like invite you to their bus and just hang out with them, and just chill, whatever, you know. And like, I'll do like another tour or whatever, and you see like, you know, some metalcore band, I won't name names, but like, and they're just like the complete, you know, ego assholes.
No one allowed in the van.
Dude.
It's the worst, dude.
Much less invited to a bus.
Dude, I mean, just don't talk to me. You know, like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Like, you guys are below us. I mean, like, I was with Suicide Silence, you know, like, they were threatened by, like, Suicide Silence. You know, because they knew, like, this is the new era of metal, you know? And they were just more, like, threatened, so they was just kind of like, you know, they'd be shunned. I guess it got only worse once I stopped working with them. They did, like, a metal tour after... their first tour after I stopped working with them, and they were like, dude, like, fucking nightmare. like every night they would just get like fucked with, you know, and just treated like shit. Like don't come to, you know, like the catering's ours, don't touch it, you know, like that type of shit. That's fucking wild. But I remember, dude, when on the Sopa tour, there was one band on there. This dude would, you know, grease up his hair and shit, like 3 flowers. And, like, and it was just like, so nasty.
You're not gonna wash that out for like 6 days, dude. Like,
yeah, but yeah, man, it's just crazy. Like a lot of those tours that we do with the metalcore bands was like, I'd come home and like had those like don't meet your hero moments, you know, because it just ruined it for me.
That's such a bummer.
You know, but like there'll be like one cool guy in the band that would kind of like, you're lucky.
Yeah,
you know?
You single-handedly saved this.
Yeah. Because most of the time it'd just be like, if a band's a dick, you know, I'm just like, well, fuck the whole band, you know, like. But yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, so Bound in Blood.
Oh, Bound in Blood. yeah. There we go. There's the first area of the discussion.
You have a cool life, dude.
You did. You really did.
A fucking cool life.
Yeah.
So these tangents, it's like, dude, I'm just ready.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Dude. But yeah, Bound in Blood.
We'll get to Darasuum on the 4th installment of the Archivist.
But yeah, Bound in Blood we had a quick takeoff, and Joe from Showcase was the one that really, you know, helped us. You know, Joe. I mean, I think you guys, you know, talked about a podcast of like selling tickets. Like we never had to do it. Joe was just always like, he would call me up. I have this show. What ones do you want to be on? Yeah. You got 1, you got 2, but nothing else. Like like 1 a month. And like we would just hop on every fucking show we can, you know, until like Love Is Red came through. We had done a tour with Gone Without Trace in 2004, and we did a Love Is Red show in Idaho. And once they came out here, they requested us, and then from there it was really just like a, you know, like, okay, like now you really are in, like you could be on whatever show you want. And that's how we became like a total like, you know, showcase house band. But like we were able to always draw, you know, 100 kids almost like guaranteed.
Sick.
You know, and it sucks like, you know, with Darasuum it's just like, it's like, come on, like, when's this gonna like get over, you know? And it never did. Like, and I feel like with Darasuum where we fucked up was because we did the demo, got signed, and then it was just like, you know, we were, you know, off running on tour. You know, we did a run with this band Judges from Pennsylvania, and then that turned into like a weekend thing with this band called Brother Bear, who turned into State Faults. But we did that, and then we came home, and then we did a full U.S. run with My Iron Lung. Came home, did another U.S. run with Recognize and To the Wind.
Yeah.
And then
we got questions about that.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's like we just never stopped. Yeah. And I remember we, you know, with our team, we had Daniel McCartney from Gideon booking us, and we had Media Scare, and it was just like I'd be on the phone with Daniel, and he'd be like, "Well, what's the goal of Darasuum?" And like, dude, I just want to get big enough to like play like House of Blues, and then do like a tour of Backyards. Yeah. Like, you know, and even now, you know, people are like, "Oh, like, what are you gonna do for your record release show with, you know, with this album?" And it's like, I want to play The Void. Yeah. You know, it's like I never want to. I don't care about like the accolades of like House of Blues, the Glass House. I would love to play those shows. They're definitely bucket list show type things, you know. But what I'm more into the quality than the quantity. Yeah. And The Void, Orange Street, like those to me are like quality shows. Yeah. And like just the vibe. Even like this Chase show we just played, it was just like amazing. Like, you know, they're like 200 kids and they're just there having a good time. No fucking crossed arms in the corner. No cool guy, you know, clicks, you know, just kind of like examining like the, you know, with hard eyes or whatever. It was just amazing. And but I remember telling him that, but like we'd be on the road, like in Florida. When I met Jordan. Yeah. You know, I remember being outside of her house talking to McCartney, and he was like, "Well, you guys need to get this album written." And I was like, "Well, dude, like, stop booking our show. Like, we need time also." He's like, "Well, you do what Gideon does. We rent a studio daily or whatever." I was like, "Yeah, but you guys are also making $300 a night. We're making $100. Lucky we're making $150, but like you're booking all these door deals for us. Like we can't afford on top of like oil changes and tire, you know, exploding or engines failing. Eating too, you know. Yeah. But like,
you guys ate."
Dude, I remember blowing up on Steven one time. because me and Chris had paid, I forgot like how many like thousands of dollars repairing like some engine in our van, and Steven was like just living it up, eating Subway and like all shit. And me and Chris are just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you know, and Chris, you know, what a heart he has because he held in, you know, his anger for it. But I remember just blowing up on Steven, just being like, dude, like you're fucking bumming money at the shows. You're getting money from your mom while we're all fucking starving. Me and Chris threw all our fucking money into this fucking van, you know, get from point to point B. And like no one's helping us. You know, it's just me and Chris losing out on our asses. But I mean, the explosion was a little bit worse than that, you know, of course. That was probably the only time I ever exploded at Steven, honestly. And, but, you know, once like cooler heads and shit like that. But yeah, dude, I remember McCartney being like, oh, yeah, we do have to do. We can't do that. We can't afford it.
Yeah.
And, you know,
and that was $100 back then. Like $100 now is not going to get anywhere.
I mean, if you get out of California, it'll do something, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it could make a dent in your gas tank. Out here, not happening. But yeah, he would tell like, oh, you got to get an album written. It's like, dude, like we don't have fucking time. Yeah, you know, and it got to the point where it's like, you know, we were just like so burnt out. We did that Marauder tour, and I mean, it was just like the Anger Brigade is just a reflection of that tour.
Yeah.
And you know, it opens up with the Death of Me or whatever. Like it just says, this loss is fun, because that's what it turned into. You know, I mean, the crews we were, the crews we were kind of like dealing with on that tour kind of made it difficult for us. Well, I would almost say the crews, but the crew mentality,
right?
You know, really fucked it all up. And then Texas was pretty rough for us. And it was like the first time we played Texas where we're like, well, what the fuck happened? Because we were just here a month ago. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like what happened? You know, then we're like, you know, all these people that we'd meet out there like, oh yeah, well, you know, now it's like a cool guy, elitist, you know, thing or whatever, which is why I wrote Smash Your Elitist Ways. And yeah, we got home from that. And I think the band swears we did a tour after that. I thought Marauder was our last tour because I remember being so fucking fed up. But we did a tour with that band, Truth Is Burden from South Africa and 2x4. And that was amazing. And we were advised not to do it because we would not come home with money. It was the only tour outside of us DIYing our tours that we came back with money. And it was like, just like, what? We should just stayed our own booking agents, you know? And no shade to McCartney, you know, he did what he could, you know, with what he was given, you know, and you know, it ultimately just didn't work for us at that time. And then we came home. We're like, okay, well, we'll take a month off and, you know, kind of recoup our brains and shit. Yeah. And then turn into 6 years, you know, and then COVID hit, and we're
happens, man.
Yeah. And we had the album written, or the Anger Brigade, you know, we had 6 songs for it. Oh, we had a Japan offer, and that was only contingent of a collab release with Media Scare and whatever label was going on out in Japan. And so, you know, we were like, well, we gotta fucking get this album written and whatever. And then once we were like burnt out, we just stopped at 6 songs. Yeah. And then we just, you know, we lost all that shit. And yeah, man, 6 years later, we're like, COVID hit, and I'm like, well, I guess we have time to finish whatever we have here, you know. And that's what I did. Just sat in my garage and record all the vocals myself, sent it out to the guy who recorded it, which is our friend Dan. And yeah, he hooked it up. You know, I feel bad because, you know, for the amount of work he put into that album, that EP, like, really wasn't worth it for him. But like, he really just fucking stuck it out and
just wanted to see it done after all.
Yeah, I'm sure he wanted to see it done, but I'm sure, you know, he probably would have liked more money out of it as well. And it's like, dude, like, we're not playing shows, like, we have nothing, and it's like COVID era, of course, you know, like.
Do you this is kind of like a question I always want to ask Media Scare guys. Do you have you had any contact with Baron, or
no?
Do you talk to Baron?
No. He's on my Facebook friends list or whatever, but like, he doesn't really communicate at all. I know he started some like hip hop thing called like California Dream, I want to say. But like, I don't know, like, outside of that. I was at Merch Connection even when Media Scare was kind of like, you know, I don't know. He kind of like shot himself in the foot, you know. Ghost Inside drama basically kind of took him out. But yeah, he just kind of like once he folded. I mean, he didn't even properly like fold. He just kind of like disappeared. Yeah, he just stopped and just faded away. But yeah, as far as I know, like he's alive. I mean, for me, that's all like kind of matters at this point. Like it's just people are just alive. Like,
yeah. I had very few interactions with him, but every time I did, they were not great.
Yeah.
And it was just always kind of like, dude, like, why are you like this? I don't understand.
It's funny because like I only have like good experiences with him. I was like I remember just joking with him, about like Darasuum Media Scare, like what's up, and he's like, well, I got the demo, I like it, I like where it's headed, and like he was like, well, we'll wait for the next one, and we did the EP, but he had already had that interest just off the 3-song demo.
Yeah.
And then he just made it happen. He's like, yeah, just come to Burbank, record at the studio, and whatever. And I think the only time that I got mad at him was recording the Back EP, because I had lost my voice during one of the songs. I think Dwellings, I lost my voice, and I had to do Iron Hand of Justice, which is I think the second song on that CD, and I'm like, dude, I can't fucking scrape, like, whatever. And he's like, you got to get it done, because that was like our second day at the studio, whatever. And this is 5 songs, of course I should be able to knock it out, whatever.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I was just like, I don't know, I probably was just pushing much harder than I should have, because the demo, I don't remember being. I guess the demo I fucked my voice up too, so maybe I'm just thinking wrong, but he was like, you gotta finish it. Like, today's the day you finish it. Like, I don't care what you can muster out, like, you're getting it done. And that was the only time I ever got mad at him, because later I heard he did that with Betrayal. They did that like Coming Home or Going Home, whatever that song they did, their last single they released, and that's where Brandon fucked up his voice. Yeah. And it was I heard it was the same thing, was that he was told, like, we gotta really get this single out. You gotta just do whatever you can to get it out. And man, I remember talking to him. The very last show we did with them was at Nitty Gritty with like Rotting Out Counterparts, and he was sitting in his van just trying to like stay away from people. And man, I felt so bad for him.
Yeah,
he was like spitting up blood, or he was telling me it's like spitting up blood, and his voice was like it was just like a squeak.
That's crazy. It went from having such a deep, powerful voice.
Dude, his voice.
Even just talking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, just his talking voice was already like he was like helium, but like low,
like
the low
man.
Computer. He was more computer spray than helium, like.
Dude, it's funny because with Brandon, there was like a festival Ghost Inside was playing, and Visual told me come up for this breakdown. Cool. So go to get on stage. I'm fucking pumped. Ghost Inside is like. Yeah, biggest, like one of my biggest favorite bands of all time, and go to get on stage, and Baron straight up like aggressively stops me from getting on stage, like puts his hand on my chest and stops me and sends Brandon. I'm like, that's not even the fucking song that Brandon's on. Like, why are you like? And I, it's one of my bands. I put my guy on there, and I'm like, damn, like that's I'm kind of pissed about this, right? And then like every time I run into him, I don't even think he like knew who I was or remembered me or anything like that. Not that he should or cared. Yeah. But it was like any time that I would run into him, like it was just like he was not nice to me.
Yeah. I have 2 experiences like that. So do you remember Vegas Records, the ska label? Okay. So John Halpern or whatever, when he owned Chain, I knew him from Vegas Records. I mean, I knew him from when I was like 11 or whatever. And at the barn, nicest guy. Every time he'd see me, like, oh, here's a sticker, here's whatever, And then I seen him at Chain, and I was like, oh shit, like Vegas Records. He's like, yeah, great. And I remember, like, I thought like he remembered me or whatever. Fuck. And I remember seeing Circus Survive when they first came out to the West Coast, and I was on the side of the stage, and he opens the door and he goes, out, and he just kicks me out during their set, and I remember just going like, John.
John, it's me.
Yeah, John, it's me. I couldn't fucking believe it, and ever since, man, I'm just like, man, like, fuck, like, I want to fucking not like you for that, But I had to realize too that like we're talking like 10-year gap here.
Yeah.
And then another time that happened too was a Mitch Memorial show. I went out to dinner. Well, Mark and Garza wanted me to be a part. They wanted me to do a song for the Mitch Memorial show, and we went out to Ancho's with their whole team, and their manager at the time. He didn't like me because I managed Suicide before him, and we had conflicting, thoughts of how suicide should be marketed, and he had this like thing against me or whatever the fuck, but Garza and Mark were telling him like, yeah, we need to get Gabe, on one of the songs. Like it wouldn't be, like suicide wouldn't be as big, or at least had that,
that upward trajectory.
Yeah, or I mean, just in general, like they would have had a slower start had I not been there to really help them.
Right.
And they try to tell that Gabe's been there since day one, like what the fuck. And Jerry was just like, we need big names. And then once we get there, and it's and no shade on Greg from Oblige or Burke from What the Hands Rising, but it's just dude, they're just as big as what Bound of Blood was, but it's my history with suicide stretches beyond just me being a Bound of Blood or whatever, you know. And but man, I remember just going home, just being I was more mad at the suicide dudes because it's this is your guys' fucking band.
Yeah, say something.
Yeah,
fuck him, yeah, and it took Jerry years, dude, for him to give my roses, and when he gave my roses, I was like, yes,
finally,
that validation,
I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, but now me and him, we're cordial enough, we could talk and shit. We have one agreement. We're yeah, right. I don't want to get into that, but we have one agreement where we were both yeah, right. But yeah, those are my two instances where people were and then it just makes you feel so stupid. You're
you're what? What am I doing here?
Yeah, it's I'm leaving.
And the Baron thing, I genuinely asked that question not because I have any disdain for him or dislike for him. Yeah. I want to know what happened to Media Scare. I really want to know. I want to say I remember a bunch of different bands just kind of being yeah, we don't really fuck with Media Scare anymore.
Yeah.
And I never got the story.
Dude, and it fucked a lot of bands,
Yeah.
Dude, when we were on that Marauder tour, people were oh, I thought you guys were as Blood Runs Black, Stick to Your Guns type band. I'm no, keep burping. I was nah, man. We're kind of we're trying to be more hardcore punkish type, whatever. But we were considered metalcore on, at that time. It was because of the whole Backtrack New York hardcore thing was the big. If you didn't sound like Biohazard, Madball, and all shit, it's you're metalcore. You're not welcome here. Yeah. Whereas if we came back now, as what that was, people probably dig us more.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at Reign Supreme. They signed a Media Scare, and every kid just went forget them. And that fucking album, Sky Burial, so fucking good.
Fucking ripped.
As far as I'm concerned, Reign Supreme never released a bad album, but that one just went under the radar. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
We did a little run with Reign Supreme and Betrayal.
Yeah. And 100th too, right? Was on that?
I think so.
I remember you guys played Galindo's or The Vault or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly just South, felt like. And
what a lineup.
I know.
What a fucking lineup, dude.
It was also that was a run where almost everybody was moshing for Reign Supreme, as far as all the bands.
Yeah.
Sean and all them. I never seen
Sean.
Sean.
They had the Vowels, the Vow hats or whatever, the shirts that just say RGN, SCP.
Yeah.
Every fucking kid had that shirt.
Yep.
Or the hat. And but yeah, but they signed a Media Scare. And
Betrayal had that too, didn't they?
Where, they did Obey.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was the Obey or the Supreme, one of the two. But yeah, they signed. I mean, and they did it with good intentions. They were oh yeah, Death Wish couldn't give us the funds or the budget that Media Scare could, and everyone just went oh fuck you guys, because for whatever reason. And then even Bury Your Dead, they did their fucking album Media Scare. Just everyone I'm not fucking with that, Yeah. It's just I don't know,
a guilty by association type thing.
Yeah.
Just from having that stamp on the record.
So I can't think of another band, outside of Ghost Inside as Blood Runs Black, that really had that made a career out of Media Scare.
Yeah.
Every fucking band. I mean, you had Burning the Masses that were kind of coming up, but then they faded just as fast, and a lot of the bands Rite of Passage, which is what we were our start out label, Redeemer, Truth in His Burden, I can't think of who else was on that shit, you know, but like, I mean, even Redeemer, you know, had their legal issues with Baron. And so Baron was just like, hey, okay, here, have your album back.
Wow.
Yeah. But like, again, like, I only have good experience with the Baron. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I like Baron.
Yeah.
You know, like, I have nothing negative to say about him. I think he's always been a nice guy to us. You know, I feel like he's never did us wrong, but at the same time, you know, he wasn't profiting off of us. So, you know, maybe that's where we got lucky.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I like to say, like, you know, he took a chance on us, you know, and
that's important.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, cause now, you know, it's like I can't even fucking get bands to give us a chance to open for them, you know, like it's hard enough, for, you know, now or whatever. Even like, you know, like even with New Age now with who signed us, you know, I had to tell him, you know, I was like, dude, he had asked me like a year before we finally just agreed, or I guess I agreed. You know, like, come on, like, let me do the full length. Like, you know, he just really wanted to be the first one to release our full length, and which is I don't know how you guys did it, like, however many 5 times, 6 times. How many albums do New Burgers have?
We have 5.
The 5 full lengths and like 3 EPs or something like that. 2 EPs.
Come on, Mike.
2 EPs. Fuck. Cycles. Concrete Flower.
Concrete Flower, yeah.
Consequence
of Dreams.
Illuminator. All the one we did ourselves, though.
Well, anyway, I don't know how you guys wrote fucking 5 albums, because it's hard enough just to write 1 album, you know. I mean, I don't know if it's because, like, you know, like my one guitar player anyway has like kids and his job or whatever the fuck, but like, dude, like, I don't even know how we even got as much music out as we did, honestly, even up until now, because like we just had like no time. I feel like there's just no time to write an album, and in general, it's just kind of like, you know, going into it, like, well, we got to make sure like all these songs are under this amount of time because of the attention span of kids, you know, and it's just it only makes it harder for us, and we're like, well, this part sounds sick, you know, but it's like, yeah, but we got to cut in half or take it out because or cut out this part because it should just go straight to the heavy part now, you know, and it just sucks. And I don't know how people just wrote albums, like even like Amir, dude. I don't know if you guys remember Amir, like in like, I don't know, 2011 to like 14 or something. They had an album every year.
Yeah.
And like every album was like 12 songs, and it's like, how the fuck are you doing that?
So at least for MBR,
it's that 0-0-0 formula. For
MBR, it came down to the fact that Daniel, our guitar player, basically we basically gave him the reins as far as like write the music, and then we'll arrange it, and we'll, you know, like I'll bring lyrics to it, and he was like a big nerd. Like he's the dude that like if there was like nothing going on or before load in whatever, he wouldn't be talking with anyone. He would be playing guitar.
Yeah.
And then he would be, if we knew we had stuff coming up, he'd be writing, or he'd just be riffing and then recording his riffs. And then when he got the little, I don't even know what it is, some app on his phone that he'd connect his
like
guitar to.
iRig or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. That like changed, like demoing for us. It changed like being able to write, because then now it's like instead of us just being like hanging out in the van and then there's no amps and he's just like playing me something like that. It's like, okay, I guess I get it. I guess I hear it. You know.
Yeah.
Now he was able to like record these little like. At first they were like shitty, but he got like decent.
Yeah, once you dial it in.
Yeah. So he just sent us stuff, and so that's why I think we were able to do it, because he could write on tour.
Yeah.
You know, I would write when we were like off tour.
Yeah, like my drummer would bring his acoustic guitar. You know Chris. You know, he does this acoustic project. Mm-hmm. So that's that, and so he would be like riffing him on shit. You know, like we wrote like the song "The Angry Brigade" on tour.
Oh,
you know, and we had my friend Corey. Well, Steven kind of had like the skeleton of it all, and Chris kind of like picked up once Steven left the band, and Corey is kind of he's playing Kubla Khan for a minute, but he was the one that was like, I think it should be like this, you know, and he like really helped us structure it all out, or whatever. And that's like our longest song now, because it's the only song where it's like a proper verse, chorus, verse.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bridge, there's a breakdown, like it's like a proper song, but it's also like 3 minutes, 20 seconds, something like that.
It's too long.
Yeah. Dude, even this past weekend, you know, we're like, yo, are we going to cut out songs or whatever? I was like, yeah, it's going to be cut out. Go to Sure Life and The Angry Brigade. because those are like our longer songs. And you know, and mind you, I mean, we're only cutting out like a minute, you know, like, but yeah, dude, it's just crazy, you know, with writing this full length. It's just like it has to be under 2 minutes. Where's it at? 1:58, perfect.
Yeah.
You know, 2:02, perfect. You know, like it's just.
Dude, we just had this conversation about attention spans today, like in our Easy Out group chat, because we're talking about, you know, like the record and singles and stuff like that, and we're like, dude, like everything's single driven now.
Yeah,
people really don't give a shit about a full length record.
Yeah,
some people do, but a lot of kids don't. Like,
yeah, I mean, like how we did it with Thriving on the Divide.
Yeah,
we did one song a month, even though DistroKid fucked up the first month of it all, but yeah, and then we released the CD and cassette, you know, in the middle of it all. But even then, it's like I feel like we still did it wrong, you know, because like I see Cameron, you know, he posted on the Dreamer Agency, like, you know, like, oh yeah, singles are the way to go, and then do the waterfall release type thing, and it's just like I tried that, you know, like and it didn't do shit, you know. So I don't like. I suck at the whole social media thing, like in general, you know. If it was up to me, you know, the band would have no social media. In fact, today I just took down our web store. I was just like, you know, it makes no fucking sense. Yeah. It's like all the fees that are being taken and shit like that. Yeah. Like, it is not fucking worth it. Like, if people want merch, just hit me up directly or whatever. Yeah. But like, it's just all this other crap. It's just too fucking hard, dude. Like, I don't understand the social media aspect. I don't know the algorithm, how to break into the algorithm, and I just. You know, I just take the organic route. You know, if it pops, it pops. If not, fuck it.
Dude, I pulled the Torture Culture web store also, because it was like, cool, yeah, we could sell a hat, but then for me not to lose money, I have to charge an arm and a leg to ship this hat. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, kids are paying like what, $40-something just to have a cap and
yeah. And that's like I've always kept our prices low. You know, like only recently. I started charging $15 shirts. And even for, I think it was when we did the NBR shows, it was like, well, like, those kids are kind of like used to paying like $20-$25 a shirt. Like, maybe we can do $15, you know? And I was like, I mean, I remember running 15. I'm like, oh, man, like, you know, it's like, it's the punk in me that just like, I don't care about I'm not here for the profits, you know? I'm not here to have this shit, like, pay my bills. Like, you know, it's like, if I need studio time, I'll just get my next check and pull out some money for studio time. You know, like I'm not gonna, you know, tax the kids. Yeah. You know, like my thing is the band is a brand. You know, all I care about is getting the brand on bodies. Yeah. You know, if kids have $8, take a shirt. You know, that's all you got. That's fine. Like that still covers what it costs to fucking make. Yeah. You know, and that's, you know, for us. I mean, we get a decent, you know, price for our merch. So it's like we're still walking home with a couple dollars, you know, like it doesn't fucking hurt. Yeah. But like I see some of these other local bands, and they already know who they are, and you know they're charging $25 shirt, and they're like, well, Turnstile charges $25. You're like, you're not Turnstile is selling out fucking arenas. Yeah, like we're playing the Void. Yeah, like what are you doing? You know, it's like if we do the Void or backyard shows, I'll drop our shirts back to $10. Yeah, it's like we're gonna do a backyard show, throwback prices, dude, $10. You know, and like even when we did the Che, everyone's like, "Oh my god, $15, $5 CDs and cassettes." Like, what? And it's just like, dude, because I don't want to sit on this shit. Yeah. I make this shit to get rid of it. Yeah. You know, it's like we're still making money off of it. You know, it's like I do the CDs and you know it only costs like $2.10, some shit like that. You know. Yeah. It's like I'm okay with fucking taking whatever $2.90, you know, profit. I don't give a fuck, you know. It's gonna get me enough to get another badge if I want another badge.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I think part of it was I was just out of the game for so long. So when I came back and saw what merch prices were, when I saw how much we were selling our stuff for, I was like,
I remember
how much you want to vomit.
Yeah. I remember showing you the card reader at Soma and being like, "This is right for the hoodies." And you're like. Should probably ask Sean about that.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, like $45, $60 hoodie. I'm like, dude. Fuck that, dude. Can't do it. Like, I won't do it. Like, unless I was like in a corner, you know. You know, like of course, like I've done those tours where they take the price cuts and shit like that. Like, if you're in those kind of corners, then of course, you know, like I would still fight for like, well, what's the lowest? You know, to kind of balance this out, I would fight for that. But of course, when you're doing that shit, like they're making you price match anyway, so it doesn't matter. But at least I'm not the one selling it, so it's easier for me to not have that guilt on me. But because I'm the merch guy as well, you know, for the band, it's just like I can't do it, dude.
Yeah,
like I feel terrible.
We would do deals like to kind of get around some of that. Like,
Yeah,
if it's like price matching. We just tell people like, hey, if you want to get like t-shirts, we'll bring the price down. Like just because
now everybody knows.
Yeah.
You let it out, dude.
Dude, at Torch Girls where we do that too. I would tell Jesse like rock paper scissors people for it. Like, oh, you only got $8. Cool. The house always loses. Give them the shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like I went a little bit too overboard last time.
Yeah, last time you did go a little overboard. I feel like kids got shirts for like $1.
Dude, well, dude, you know what's funny is that my nephew, he came with me these past couple shows, and on Friday, I just noticed. Take a poster. Oh, you want some stickers? And just like, oh, you want one too? Like, you know, like just kids that like, and the posters are $1. You know, it's like, and I had to tell him like, I was like, dude, like this shit still costs money.
Yeah,
you know, like if the kids can't afford $1, like you know, I'm sorry, you know, but it's like they just pass. You know, what I mean,
at least let us make our money back.
Yeah.
Break even.
Yeah, so at Che, he did a little bit better. With, you know, he held back a little bit more, you know, but he was more on top of it. Like, if somebody bought a cassette or whatever, you know, I told him, like, get him a poster now. You know, like, if they bought just anything, you know, just give him a poster. Yeah. You know, but, like, just don't be going around, like, hey, take one, you know. Like, that's still money being, you know, thrown out, you know.
Unless you have annoyingly massive posters that you don't.
Oh, yeah. What are those? Those like 36, like 24, 36 posters, or 36, 48?
No, they're 24, 36.
Okay.
But
dude, I used to have a heavy petting zoo poster that big in my wall, and a strung out poster. I have a picture of it. Maybe I can find it later and show you. Sick. But yeah, my brother's, you know, like playing his guitar or whatever. You see it just in the corner. You see strung out, and you see a fucking heavy petting zoo. Finger in the lamb, or the sheep. And those are posters that like I look at those pictures and I go like, if I could only get all those back again. No. The rain took them out, but yeah, man, it's like those strung out posters I'll never see again. Like I don't know, man. But yeah, you guys have those giant ass posters.
Not anymore.
Oh, you got it. What would you do? Bonfire them or what?
Yeah, just dumpster. Just I think Soma after Soma. We made it.
And it sucks because I meant to get one from you guys when we played with you guys at Chain.
Oh, dude, we would have happily given you.
Could have fuck those posters, dude.
We were like, I was like finding so many things like, if I need to like. Hey, we need set list. Okay, I get this big ass poster. And I just rip off a little piece, throw the rest away, and then let you know.
Yeah.
Dude, we were even at a point where I was just telling kids like, all right, here's the deal. You can have this poster for free. You got to roll it up and sword fight in the pit. And if you fuck up the poster, just come back. I'll give you another one. I'll give you a fresh one. You have to. So we would just hand them out to everybody to take them. There's like 3 of the members on the actual poster weren't even in the band anymore. So
Christian was selling that poster, right?
Yeah, Christian, Daniel,
and
Brian. Oh yeah, so it's me and Martin.
Yeah, it's just you and Martin.
Yeah,
so
it's fine.
But yeah, man, it's just the whole merch thing is just like, again, it's just I can't do it without guilt, you know. It's just the DIY in me. It's just you know.
Yeah, we're giving out.
I guess they'd call me a communist.
Well, you wanna get into some questions?
Oh yeah, shit. We have. I think you probably hold the record now. I think this is the most questions we've gotten.
You know, you say that to every guest.
Well,
well, I mean, you guys are expanding, so they get more and more and more.
That's true. You do have a lot of questions.
That's funny.
All right. So these are probably good ones because these are from Ty. Ty usually.
Oh yeah, ones. These are ones I dread now.
I never know how I would answer.
I know.
Questions.
It's fun. It's fun to watch our guests.
Well, he does the multiple questions too. Yeah. You know, so it's just like, okay, like rack your brain again, like reset.
See, then these are good. Okay, Ty asks, what about a band now catches your attention?
I guess the charisma, you know, like I guess because my band doesn't have it, you know, like it's like me and my drummer are constantly like, you guys fucking gotta move, you guys look like sell the fucking shit, you know. And so if I see a band that like really sells it, I'm hooked. You know, I guess like Blind Wolf, I don't know if have you heard Blind Wolf?
Yeah.
When I first seen them, dude, their guitar player, Minju, just like, it's just cool factor.
Yeah.
I mean, dude just fucking plays and shreds, and Blind Wolf musically is just solid. I feel like it's like good metalcore.
Yeah.
You know? And then this band Sounds of Satellites. I saw them with the classic Crime at Chain Reaction, and just blew me away. But they did a song called Late, and that's when like just goosebumps, dude.
What's the band called?
Sounds of Satellites.
Sounds okay.
But yeah, they have a song called Late. It's a super sad song, and but man, when he did it live, like, it's soul, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Again, it just gave me goosebumps, you know. And there's not a lot of bands that like really like give me goosebumps. There's like band like Smoked, you know. When I first saw them in Neon Bear, something like the beginning of last year or the year before, I forget. It was just like they got something. They got it, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, this band could go all the way. And to the point, you know, like I was hitting up, you know, the A&R dude from Central Media, Mike Gitter, like messaging, like, check out Smoke, you know. And I didn't really get anywhere. I should probably remind him to check it out. But because Gitter's great. But yeah, it's like it just, if they sell it, you know, it's awesome. Like, there's not a lot, like 97 Minutes too. When I first seen them at Rockefeller's,
I was just thinking
like,
that too.
97. I mean, they have it too. I mean, we did Monster Youth with them, and I was like,
Was that the show where everybody was hammered?
I don't know. They opened.
I think that was the show.
It was
saying
it was the very first March for Youth, and but they didn't move at all. Like, they just stood there. And then I saw Rockefellers, and it was like a whole different band. They were all two-stepping and moshing, and Gilly's jumping all over the place. Mm-hmm. And I remember asking him, like, what the fuck happened at March for Youth?
Yeah.
Like, where was that energy then? Mm-hmm. And I forget what David told me, but
it might have been them. They were drunk.
Wasn't that the one? Didn't he say that on his episode?
So I think.
I don't know, but at the Rockefellers, I talked to Nate, and I was just like, you guys got something here, man. Like, you know, like,
yeah.
I was like, I gotta get your guys' cassette, like, you know, whatever you guys got, because I want to be able to be on that before it fucking blows up, you know. And I still give him shit now, you know. It's like, man, you guys dropped the ball. You guys waited too long for new music, you know. Just, and it's no secret. I told him just even this past weekend, you know. I always talk about it with
like I told him yesterday.
Yeah, I always bring it up to them, man. Like, if you guys had only capitalized on that Mosh for Youth moment and dropped a new song, like, where would the band be now, you know? But, you know, like, I love those dudes, because they're like, they don't give a fuck either. They're just like, we're just here to have a good time.
Yeah.
If it blows up, fantastic. If it doesn't, we're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, and we're having a good time. And that's another great thing, you know, I like about bands, like that organic, you know, the genuine, you know, appeal, I guess, you know, that they're not here to clout chase or whatever, you know. They're just like kind of like us, you know, like, if we just want to play cool shows, you know. And there's people that frustrate us with it because they don't want to put us on cool shows, you know. And of course you're gonna get that band envy, you know, and it kicks in always, you know. But yeah, I like when bands are just like, we don't give a fuck, like, we're here for a good time.
Yeah.
So, but goosebumps. If I get goosebumps, I'm fucking. I'm real fucking stoked, dude.
I think really quick for me, when a vocalist or a band has whatever, and I don't care what it is, it could be straight edge, if they're Christian, whatever, they truly, like, you can tell that they like stand by it. Like, I like when a band stands for something. I don't care what, but I like when they.
See, and I'm like opposite. Like I like Sleeping Giant, right? Mm-hmm. Great band. It took a while for me to warm up to them, but great otherwise. But like, a band that talks that much is like, could be overkill. Mm-hmm. And which is why with Darasuum, it's like, I don't talk. Yeah. To me, like, you know, I was talking to a band at Che. They're like, well, shout-outs are cool and shit. I was like, yeah, but you'll see how I do it. You know?
Dude, the way that you do that shit, just screaming the fucking band names, I love that shit.
You know, I kind of like got that from Limp Wrist, Martin, I don't know. When I seen them, my brother took me to go see him at I fucking forget what the venue's called in LA, and he would like basically sing the whole song a cappella basically, and then to go into the song,
And start all over.
Yeah, but like to me, it was just kind of like, I mean, I recorded the whole set, and you could just see the fucking energy. Like the energy never let up.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of like what I'm always going for. Is just the minute you kill, the amps or whatever the fuck, you're killing the vibe.
Yeah.
Because now people are like, ears, all perked up. What's he gonna say? And no, most of the time, a lot of bands are just like, "What's up, guys? So, we got some merch, and and it's like to me, it's just like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Play your songs.
We all know when you got merch.
Yeah. Yeah. Play your fucking songs, and propaganda. Let's talk more rock.
Yeah.
That's it. Just shut the fuck up. Sell your shit. Get off the stage, and let's get out before 10.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Be in bed at a reasonable hour.
Yeah.
Ty's next question is, did you ever play a show with Sinai Beach? If so, can you please talk about the experience?
I did a tour with Sinai Beach. We did it was like a weekend run with Himsa.
Dang.
Yeah. I got in trouble for that run. We had a conversation in the van that I guess they didn't really appreciate, and because my original guitar player for Darasuum played bass in Sinai Beach toward their end days, and so that's how I got on that tour, and but yeah, we had a discussion in the van, and I guess I wasn't supposed to know, and they were like kind of like on a fuck Gabe trip for a few years, but now we're all cool now. I see him like Stater Brothers and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's fine now. It's been squashed since then, but I don't think we ever got to. Oh wait, we did. Well, not Darasuum. Bound on Blood did Red Chord's first West Coast shows. Yeah, we did. It was Bleeding Through, Red Chord, Sinai Beach, us, and this band Rose for Ona.
Fuck.
Yeah, man, Bound on Blood plays some like crazy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like we played with the Premonitions of War and West Coast Worldwide, or at West Coast Worldwide in Sacramento. Reflux, we played with them, I think, on the same show. And just them warming up, and then like you just see them, they're all walking around the venue, like whatever, fucking just shredding like crazy, and then like Bound in Blood has to play.
Yeah.
And it's just like we get a reaction, but it's like I tell everyone with Bound in Blood, I think what helped what the appeal for us was that you knew you were in for a good time.
Yeah.
Our breakdowns and songs were so predictable, like you knew when
You know
the
what's
mosh-
coming.
Yeah. And so like it was just more fun.
Yeah.
Musically, the musicianship like really wasn't there, but it didn't stop us from being able to sell out places we'd play. I mean like us and like Gone Without Trace selling out Chain Reaction on with a bunch of other local bands like Sydney Raven or something, and it's just like wild, because like we thought we were like the worst of the bunch, but like,
But you guys, I feel like you guys, I don't think it's an accident, dude. I think you worked because you're flying and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we pumped the hell out of our band, but like we didn't like tour as much as we should have, We did that. We did an Integrity tour, and then we did the Gone Without Trace run across the the whole U.S.
Integrity.
Yeah. When nobody gave a fuck though. I think like
Still did it.
Yeah. I think like I think there was like one good show on that whole tour, which was Reno, but like that was like our shit because we were straight edge band.
Oh yeah.
We got the Reno Hockey Master crew coming out, destroying shit for us. But like we played the Scene in San Diego, maybe 15 paid.
Whoa.
For Integrity.
I guess definitely more of an East Coast thing for them, maybe.
I think nobody cared at that point. Not now. Like now, like you got all the lore around them, and you got bands like in LA, like Twitching Tongues and all. The young brothers are really like exposing these bands to the kids, and the kids are just like rediscovering all these bands and learning the history of these bands, and like I don't know, finally I guess they're getting their roses now, but when we toured with them, and same with Marauder has this whole fucking this insane hype now, but when we toured with them, it was like every show was super hit or miss. It was just like some shows were great, some shows were not, but a lot of the kids would walk out after Warhound or Murder Death Kill.
Yeah.
So it was just I don't know.
We only played with Marauder once, and it was in Brooklyn, and it was on the Lionheart tour.
Yeah.
And they just jumped on the show, and we were like, "Oh, fucking sick!"
Oh,
And it was
yeah.
terrifying.
Great guys, dude. Like Jorge, fucking amazing dude. Such a nice guy. But yes, Bound and Blue. I played a show with Sunny Beach.
Last one, he says, "Can I please have a Darasuum basketball jersey?"
I don't know if we will make that. Yeah.
Ty's just trying to get
Jersey
basketball jerseys
for
for the
everything.
whole
Yeah,
season.
come get a shirt. I'll give him a shirt.
Yeah.
And you can cut into a jersey. Internal X War asks top 5 hardcore bands.
Ooh. Okay. Let's see. I could probably go. I could try to go down like I'll say Warzone, Fight for Justice. It was just like, dude, like when I was like learning to scream, I'd be in my room, dude, fucking singing that. locked out, dude. Locked out. Just, I mean, it set up also another band that like just set my ethics for who I am. You know, just like no cool guy, no ego, no whatever, and just very welcoming and not trying to fucking shun kids away. But yeah, Warzone, 10-Yard Fight, Shutdown, Strife, and man, dude, fucking trying to. It's like, I know I'm gonna. Man, I'll even say like this band, Swedish band, Abananda. Like they were like one of like the first like 5 CDs too. I purchased when I was younger, but man, they only got better and better. They have this album called The Rumble, and it sucks that he did a podcast with 100 Words or Less, and I was talking to Ray about it too. That Rumble was just like it's members of Refuse now, but before Refuse they did this album called The Rumble, and I remember when I first heard it, it's like a rock, it's like a rock and core album. I don't know, very rocking.
Yeah.
And man, it was just all the elements that the instrumentation that were used, like violins and all this shit, you know.
Wow.
It like blew my mind that like this is a hardcore band.
And you said Abananda?
Yeah, Apananda, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Rumble. But I would say like those 5. Or man, I didn't say Throwdown. Because Beyond Repair is where I get my vocals from.
Yeah.
That's like all I wanted to do was imitate Keith. When we played Toca or something, I asked you 20 questions, but I punish him. Hey, how did you record? Like, did you like stand there? Like, did you hold the mic? You know, like I'm always even like when we toured with Integrity.
Yeah.
Well, we're listening to Die For, and I was asking him the same thing. Like, yo, like when you record like Those Who Fear Tomorrow, like you know, and he was just like, yeah, I just stand there and record. You know, like what a stupid question.
Yeah.
You know? But
it's a legitimate question because
Yeah.
like it's hard to stand there with a
How
mic in front
do
of
you sound like
screaming.
that? Just without,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I struggled more when I was younger. Like, dude, when we recorded this last EP, I couldn't fucking believe how fast I did those songs. Like, I did like 3 or 4 songs like one night, and my drummer was like, "Yeah, like we'll probably do like 1 or 2 songs. Like, we'll see how it goes." And then we just kept going. He was like, "Dude, like I didn't expect you to nail them all like that." It's just like,
I figured out my formula.
yeah, I don't know, but but Keith was like my vocal inspiration, and it was Doug from Cast from Eden that showed me how to, I guess, properly like vocal warm ups and all that shit like that.
Without bucking up your
I think your haze is what really was the game changer for me. When you're telling me at Orange Street, I do haze or whatever, and I started doing that, and I felt like that's probably what I've been missing this whole time, or or doing the haze, because
that explosive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
fans of Darasuum, you're welcome.
Yes.
I take full credit.
Yeah. My Mike's my 40-year-old vocal coach.
Yes. I do so
Wisdom.
much. Just,
Wisdom.
Just to freaking look like I'm not doing anything at all.
I think on Saturday I saw Justin from Codename Rocky. He posted, anyone know a good vocal coach? I just put Mike Perez.
Yeah.
That's weird. He
And
didn't hit me up.
And I hate doing warm-ups, man. Like I got at Chales, and I had to go like, where's the room? Where's like, I need an empty spot, like, you know. And I'm like in there, you know, do my warm-ups, and like band members would come in and out, and they're like, I heard one like even like mock it, like, or whatever. And I was like, you fucking asshole. Like, I'm gonna go wait for you to fucking leave.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me fucking waste another 3 minutes.
Go smoke your cigarettes and drink your booze.
Dude, just roll up a t-shirt or something, just do it into that.
I had to project. Like I need that projection.
At the end of the day, just fuck them, dude. That's the one thing I've just learned to like not give a fuck about. I've been
Dude, like
I'm
Eddie,
so embarrassed.
dude, like Eddie from Suicide. When I saw my whiskey or whatever, when they're on doing the cleansing entirety tour, we were like in the in the green room, like the main room in the whiskey, and all these fucking dudes are hanging out, drinking. Like they have a whole fucking the whole band room's full, and he's just sitting doing his warm ups. And like some other dudes like, oh, I tried. Have you tried doing this? And they start doing it together, and I'm just like, I can't even do it with one person in the fucking room. Mind fucking 20, 30 people in the room. Like kudos to people that could do that, but like I'm so self conscious about it.
just own it.
I can't. Can't. That one guy. Oh man, I'm gonna go hide now. Like,
I just assume everyone's talking shit, and I'm just like, it's okay.
yeah.
Dude, our boy Zen Daddy,
Frank from
Frank Monk,
Great guy too.
he asked, "What does straight edge mean to you?"
I don't know, like, dude, you know what's funny with like the whole thing, right? Like, it's like I don't have like any like answer for what it means to me, other than like it's just who I am.
Yeah.
Especially like at this point, it's just like I know that for me, I wasn't a product of my environment. Like I have my reasons, and
Right.
I feel like that's what lacked, especially like in my friend group, like a lot of them sold out, but a lot of them, didn't have that upbringing that I had or whatever, or a real reason, So like, I don't know, for me, it's always just meant like it was just right for me.
Right.
There was just no other path that made sense. In fact, I was only more happy that like, I could find my tribe. Like, oh, these are like my fucking people. Like, like that's amazing. I could like relate to somebody now. But otherwise, like, I guess when in early Bound and Blood days, I was like, fucking like, if you aren't, fuck you.
Yeah.
But now, it's just kind of like, I don't want anybody to be straight edge. Yeah. I encourage everybody not to be straight edge. It's just, you don't want, it's better not to have that guilty conscience when you want to sell out.
Right.
So just,
right. Just, if you just choose not, just don't claim anything.
Yeah. But I have no faith in people today when it comes to straight edge. And look at Bound and Blood dudes. There's only, out of all the entire history of Bound and Blood, from 2000 to whoever I talk to today, there's only 2 of us that say straight edge. So that's a lot of fucking people. Because Bound and Blood started off as like a side project of porn recognition. So like, it was just a lot of fucking people.
Revolving door.
Yeah.
He also asks, how do you keep up the energy over all these years?
Running. Yeah, even today before I came here, I went on a run, rough as fuck. It was like 105 degrees, and I'm like in a windbreaker. I wear a long sleeve and like all the shit. I try to get a good sweat, and I did a mile, and I was just like, I'm going home now. I can't do this shit.
There's fire going on.
Yeah. No, but I just run a lot or do insanity workouts. Like those are like amazing to do, especially for like cardio. But if I'm in a pinch, I'll do insanity. If I just have time, I'll just go on runs. When I was in Paris, I was doing 3-mile runs, going up and down the stairs and shit that were by us. And, I didn't do it every day like I wanted to, but it was cool, Run by Père Lachaise Cemetery and run in and out of it. And it's great. Great time. So running. Yeah. I asked him, though, I think I asked him in person, though. Because, his presence... He's off the fucking wall.
Oh, yeah.
He's the madman.
It's like I'm like a I have no energy compared to him, dude. That fool fucking all over the place. And so, but I asked him.
Like yoga.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Hardcore Pilates.
Yeah.
Just meditate, and you can move like that.
Yeah, and I feel like even I'm almost 40, and I feel like I'm like the best shape vocally, even though it's a little hoarse right now. But vocally, I feel like I'm in the best shape ever, and energy wise, I feel like it's, hasn't really I haven't really lost it even from Bound and Blood days.
Yeah.
So
Must be nice.
Yeah. Our buddy Chris, Slap of the Bass. He said, "What inspiration guides you to write all the music you do?"
oh, bad friendships, the scene, cracks in the scene. Like even with Bound and Blood, I was writing songs that were getting me in trouble. I wrote I don't need dog tags. The song titles, I don't need dog tags. I know who my friends are, and it was a jab at a lot of the young crews that were here, but a crew in the Midwest thought I was talking about them, and the dudes who were doing the threatening all sold out, of course. And when those dudes sold out, they apologized and shit. I remember in Kentucky, I met up with them, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, like, fuck him, fuck the drama, like whatever the fuck." But I wrote the song, as a jab to the crews, the younger crews that were out here trying to like be like them, and we weren't a touring band either. So I was just like, I wrote about what I see,
Right.
But yeah, I've always wrote about like scene politics and just friendships. I always write. Everyone's like, why so many friendships? I was like, because hardcore has this stigma of like friendship, brotherhood, unity.
But it's not always like that.
No, it's again, it's a lot of front, and you got all these. Everybody whispers, There's a lot of whispering that happens in hardcore, and people could be like stoked for you, but they're obviously probably talking to their friends like, well, why Darasuum, or why are they cool with them, and it's just so I've always just tried to like stop that cliche that great hardcore has given me my lifelong friends.
Right.
I've been friends with more people in hardcore than I'm friends with people in high school.
Yeah.
But outside of it all though, it's like there's been so much drama I had to go through to find just those 5 lifelong friends.
Yeah.
And I hardcore could be a lot of friendship, brotherhood, unity, and all that shit until it's not.
So it's not.
Like it's only like that for so long. Even in the Empire scene, I see these cracks, and thriving on the divide, dude. I wrote it, I wrote the
Even
song.
in your own bands, sometimes like it's just it falls apart like that.
What do you mean?
Easy out, dude.
Yeah. Oh. Easy out. And then he asks, "As I Lay Dying or Motionless in White?"
Neither. Neither. If I had to pick, I mean, I saw As I Lay Down very early on, like Crossroad Church era and Corona. When they were trying to go for Zayo, fantastic. Yeah. Their split with American Tragedy, it's listenable. But once they started doing like the Fragility, or when they really started going like At the Gatesy, it's kind of like what they lost me. I was just like, yeah, I'm not into that. Like
when they leaned into the metal.
Yeah, well, when they started going like that, then I was like, nah. Like I'll listen to my Bleeding Through for that. I don't need another one. I don't need another Bleeding Through in my life. So.
Wait, did you say that As I Lay Dying and American Nightmare did a split?
Oh, no, American Tragedy.
Oh, I was like,
yeah, that's like a melodic hardcore band out of San Diego. They only like released like the split with As Lay Dying and then like a 7-inch, and both of them were fucking bangers, dude.
Damn,
great band.
Sick. And then yes, best metal vocalist.
Metal vocalist. I'll just keep it close to home, dude. Mitch.
Yeah.
It's like we'd get done, wreaking havoc around Riverside or Corona or whatever the fuck, and I just put on that EP of theirs, and I would just try to like get that low. Like, how does he get that low? Like this fucking guy. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys ever talked to Mitch or whatever, but he was like super like soft spoken. But man, once he gets that lows, his highs like you almost expect because he has that soft voice or whatever, and it was like a little bit higher. But when you get that low, it was just like a holy fuck. Him and fucking Whitechapel singer, and I feel so bad because Phil, yeah. I feel so bad. I mean, him used to play a motorcycle game all night against each other, but I haven't talked to him in years either. But both of them. But even his talking boys like Brandon, like they both don't like this, but like vocally, just his structuring was great. And but Mitch for sure was just like
the Whitechapel dudes. I can honestly say were one band that caught me completely off guard. Because when I went work for Atticus, I was on a bus with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are like some of the nicest and
Right.
like most southern like dudes I've met.
Yeah.
And I love this.
Yeah,
I love this.
It is funny. Like Phil, like writes like like, his lyrics are like so smart, kind of like Carcassy type lyrics and shit. But like, he's just such a fucking teddy bear, dude. Like, and he's so smart. He's like me and him are like the biggest, or like the same height.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like just such a teddy bear.
So powerful though.
Yeah,
Like, when he's
it's so approachable. I mean, all those dudes are just like they're such a great band. I did a whole U.S. run with them when I was with Impending Doom, but so I got to know those guys pretty well, and but yeah, Phil and Mitch, I guess was like it just blew my mind. Phil because he was just so small,
Yeah.
and then Mitch just because just like I asked my dad like what band changed metal for you, like when do you think metal like changed hands? He goes Pantera's Cowboy from Hell. And then like for me it was when Suicide Silence first played Bludgeon to Death, and I remember Mitch going on and on like, oh, you got to hear the song we're writing, and this was when I was managing them or whatever, but he would not fucking let me hear it because he still saw me as just like, oh, you're just Gabe, you're not like manager Gabe, even though I was the one booking them and getting them on shit. But man, when they fucking unleashed Bludgeon to Death, just goosebumps. And I was just like, this is something here, dude.
And that fucking snare in that song.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, so blew my mind, Mitch's voice.
Yeah. And then his last one. How long before a show do you do your warm-ups?
The band before us. So 15, 20 minutes, I'll do it. I like to... Well, because I handle the merch, but I also try to like to watch the bands, or if I could catch the bands, I always like to watch them just to see like what am I up against, how much more do I have to, how much harder do I have to push. I told Gilly too in '97 when we played with them at Cro-Mags that like I dreaded having to play after them because I know he's gonna fucking go wild and I'm gonna have to fucking follow that up, and but you want that, you want to be able to have someone push you,
dude. Watching like you play, watching 97 play, and seeing like dudes that are moving on the stage, like it seriously has made me question.
Yeah,
what I'm doing.
It was funny.
I'm like, I gotta work out.
I guess outside of David, because David 2 steps and shit, but like otherwise, like him and me and Gil are the ones that are like making up for none of our other dudes moving.
Yeah, you'll get like a punch out of me every now and then, or whatever. But I'm usually pretty winded after that punch.
You have to take a deep breath just to swing your arm, dude.
I feel like I've been pretty blessed to have dudes that move.
Yeah.
Like boys, that guys like.
Yeah, I mean, my idea, like, I remember what this band Count Me Out, man. I mean, I remember thinking, like, I would, like, put their Few and Far Between the EP on, and I would, like, learn how to play those songs on my brother's guitar, and I would just sit there, like, swing my guitar, thinking, like, oh, this is easy. And so when it came to my band, like, even recently, it was, like, last year, I was like, let me keep this fucking guitar. Let me see it. Like, what is it? I learn it real quick, and I stand up, I go, okay, I see why it's hard.
Yeah. You got to choose. You're either going to do cool shit or you got to play cool shit.
Because all our shit is like just triplets.
Yeah.
Like, and so like, you can't just be like constantly like swinging around and still trying to bounce around and shit. Mm-hmm. Even like our song Seasonal Friends, it's our ska song because it's an upstroke song. And it's just like trying to like bounce around, and it's like, yeah, okay, I could get why you guys just don't move as much.
Yeah.
But my guitar player Ryan's, he's getting better. He's been jumping more and trying to swing his guitar more. So kudos to him.
All right. The Arendondos?
Oh yeah. Recognize. He played on drums and Recognize.
He said Darasuum to the Win Recognize tour. What was your favorite show or shows?
Man, we played the AAP house in Kennewick, Washington. Did you guys ever play there? Rock Reactor? That was like their venue.
Maybe. I don't know.
But we played his AAP. I forget his name right now. I feel bad because he's a great guy too. But we played his garage, and that was pretty wild. And then we did a show in Utah, with Focus Minds, Sleepwalkers, who Brody went on to be in God's Hate or whatever, and Aldo does Human Garbage. But we did Sleepwalkers, Focus Minds, and I forget who else was on that. But it was a pretty fucking stacked show. It was basically 2 tours that were on the same day, and the kids in Salt Lake were like, dude, like this is fucked up. Like let's just put them together and start the show earlier and make all the bands. Let's have like a fest or whatever, and that was awesome too. We have like a giant group picture from
Do you remember where it was at? What venue?
No, it was like some warehouse, but all I have is a picture of all the bands together. But that was a cool show too. But I think those like the only two that really stick out. Pocatello, Idaho, surprisingly good, and but yeah, AAP House and that Salt Lake show was just like this is sick.
I love Salt Lake. All right, Nate Bena, Bena.
Yeah.
He said some bands you have an eye on that you think we should be paying more attention to.
Man, I wish Sounds of Satellites, honestly, but they're like, I mean, that'd be up Nate's alley as well because he does a lot of indie rock stuff. Like Sounds of Satellite, dude, like they deserve so much like hype and just a bigger audience, but they don't play enough anyway. Like they play like 1-2 shows a year. If you're lucky, you catch them in a year or whatever. But that band's just incredible. Man, I don't know. That's hard. Trying to think, trying to hurry up and rummage through my brain of like bands that are like cool as fuck.
So many bands.
Yeah, there's just so many good bands right now. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just Inland Empire alone. Just like Traditions. Who doesn't get a lot of shine. And I mean, they're a 4-piece. Let's see. They're like a 4-piece band, and they're fucking like pulling it off. I feel like I told them too, like, you guys need one more guitar player, like really feel that. It'll feel the heaviness in, But for a 4-piece, they kill it. Even his other band, D&G, there's a solid band too. But or Iron Rule, But
the new Iron Rule rips,
dude.
We got to hear it.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet.
Hear the new Iron Rule. Yeah, shout out to those boys.
Yeah, but I mean, the Inland Empire alone just has so many good bands, and I can only imagine like what's even out in L.A. Like someone told me to check out Dark Uniform. I think it was Andreas from 5-7, and I was like, God, this is pretty fucking good.
Dark Uniform rips.
Yeah.
Shout out Steven.
Yeah, Dark Uniform. Like that was like another band that surprised me too. I was like, damn, this is like, I thought they were gonna be like like thuggish hardcore or something like that, And I was like, oh, great, like great. That's what we need. Like just like another hardcore band,
Yeah.
Oh, like Jackknife is so much fun live too. But yeah, there's a lot of fucking bands, dude. I don't know.
Our boy David, 97 minutes.
Oh.
He said, will you eventually make a book with all your show flyers for people to purchase? I would buy.
I don't know. So, I mean, I already don't have time to even keep up with the archives, rather than like try to jump into a, PDF, Photoshop or whatever the fuck you InDesign, to make a whole book of it all. And I mean, it'd be cool to do that. My brother still has flyers. He's posting. I'm like, where the fuck was that? When I didn't know you had that flyer. So, and I'm still collecting them. And it's great too because now I'm noticing a lot of the shows you see a flyer now, and it's just like, yes, like I told everybody to come back.
But is the year on there?
I even stopped putting the years. So for a little bit, I didn't even put it at the very bottom, like in like just tiny, 20,
just somewhere you could see it.
22 or whatever. But even I kind of stopped putting the year because then the information it starts becoming too much. Like too many letters all over the place. And but I tell everybody, if you're not gonna put the year, at least put the day, because then you could at least wind it down. To what year it's at. But probably not.
Next one, he said, do you believe I'm a changed man? And he put in parentheses, turning straight edge again.
Yeah, I told him he'll come back. They all come back. All these people that sell out, they always regret it. They always, most of them anyway, they always regret it. Dude, Garza sometimes, he'll text me. He goes, man, sometimes I think about just stopping and being edge again. And then he goes on tour and he's like, never mind. Like,
party.
Yeah. But no, I feel like a lot of them, like a lot of people that sell out or, go heavy into the drinking, if they don't kill themselves doing it, they always go sober. They find I don't know, they get on health conscious and like, you know, I'm going sober now, and I see a lot of posts even on Facebook now, you know, 160 days sober today, you know, and it's just like, great, you know.
So,
But they always come back.
I punished Garza at the Fender thing. Who's it? Brillo Mobile.
That's Jabril.
Oh, Jabril.
Jabril. I was like, I know this. He said, we need a tour.
I'd have to find a lot of scabs, dude. It's like me and my drummer are the only ones that would like be willing to do, you know, a week or something, or 2 weeks tops, you know, but it has to be like, it just has to be worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we all agree that like, you know, we had the overseas options. Like, that's pretty much all we'll do. You know, we'll do like a fly-in, or, you know, I get people like, oh, come to Colorado or some shit. And it's like, dude, like, find a promoter that, you know, with an invite, a show offer, and we'll do it. Dude, we flew to Hawaii, you know? We did 2 shows, Chopped Under Ice and Title Fight. It's like, you know, what would stop us from just flying somewhere else again, you know? Like, we just made a vacation out of it.
What a fucking show.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, that was Chopped Under Ice final shows or whatever at the time.
Your life is so cool.
Your life is so much cooler. But again, like, you know, like Title Fight isn't like when Muerta Buena did their cover of Title Fight at their last show.
Yeah.
That was a bigger pop than Title Fight doing.
The Title Fight, actually.
You know, at the time anyway. I'm sure, obviously, Title Fight could probably sell out Shrine overnight, you know, and get that pop. But, you know, when we did those 2 shows, and they didn't have those pops. You know, and it's just a lot of kids that are like, cool.
Yeah, rad.
Yeah. See, it's always those, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
Except
that's how it always goes.
Unless it's Darasuum or something. You know?
To Die For, so I'm guessing it's probably Jason.
Oh, yeah, Jason.
He said with a wave, said, Gabe, he said, I'd love to hear about your archival process for flyers, etc.
Right now, it's just all in a bag and folders. Like, I've been looking into kind of like baseball cards. You know how they have like those like clear slips and shit. I'm looking into doing that for them. But again, it's just the time. Like, I just don't have the time, and then it's money, and you know, it's probably only like $10. But it's just like, you know, Amazon, you probably get them all for $10. But it's just like the idea of having to like stop being a dad or stop working or something to try to like
to put
all this shit
flyers
together. Yeah. It annoying me out. Like, I mean, my CD collection is all in alphabetical order, so I would be trying to like
by
date it, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it would be sick. I know you wouldn't do this and you wouldn't have time, unless maybe it was like crowdfunded. But can you imagine? So if someone just would document you doing that and like putting it together.
Oh yeah. Well, like Steven's talking
Maybe
about doing like
episode
a book for like set lists, you know. Like, I was like, that's cool. Steven's always on stage. He has all set lists, and that'd be cool to have too. But I like all those books like that, you know, like, you know, anything that has a flyer collection, you know, or just hardcore punk history in general. All those books, I try to collect them all. They get expensive as fuck, but you know, there's just those like my inspiration. You know, I just like, oh, someone needs a flyer. Okay, like let's get my brain going. You know what I can do, whatever. But yeah, I just one day I'll figure out a way to, you know, do it. But I like to think it's all safe. You know, like it's all like they're all just put in a bag and put in an area I'm never in.
Yeah,
and just the kids can't get into. So
it's gonna be cool too. I think when your kids are like older, and then because that's like. It's like part of their dad's history, like whether they understand it or
dude,
not.
my kids are fucked.
Yeah.
They have to deal with fucking like 1,000 shirts, 3,000 CDs. You know, like,
What are we gonna do with this?
yeah. My wife says like if I you know die before my time or whatever, like she's just like just get rid of it. Just I'm like, okay, but these CDs, these are like the $100 CDs. Like you gotta. You know, I mean, I like all the Suicide Signs demos and all that shit. You know, that like one of those demos is like $500 on Discogs. You know, it's sold for $500 on Discogs. You know, so it's like I told her like, okay, well, like if you got to keep these out, because like just if. But I separated them now. I have like a tub for all the demos.
Yeah.
Or a box rather, and I was like, these are the important ones. Like,
these are the ones that you're gonna.
Yeah, some of them, not all of them. Some of them probably snoozers, but yeah.
Put them in a safe.
Yeah.
So somewhere I mean, I'm sure it's gone now, but I don't know if you've heard me tell a story about how I'd met Zach from Event Sevenfold when he was in MPA, and I was trying to get his pop punk band to play at my birthday party.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me. I think you said it on the podcast.
Yeah.
About that story.
And so somewhere I have like this old Avenged demo.
Somewhere.
For sure it's probably gone.
You probably threw it away.
It's probably gone. I didn't throw it away. Got thrown. Our boy Adrian, Harsh Reality. He said, "When are we doing a Harsh Sum tour?" They already named it.
Oh, dude, man. Knowing them, dude, it's like we have a lot of work for scabs. We have a lot of scabs to work through, man.
Dude, you got it.
When are you and Adrian gonna travel together?
Dude, what it is this: you guys just hire a drummer, guitar player, bass player who's willing to do 2 sets.
Yeah, I mean, my drummer would probably be open just to doing Harsh Reality set too.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it'd be a matter of like finding just musicians that also want to tour, you know. So, I mean, we did that. We drove to Vegas, you know, and one of my members was like, "That sucked." I was like, "Dude."
It's not even that bad.
Yeah, it was like only like a 3.5 hour drive, dude. Like
It's Vegas.
yeah, dude. Like it sucks when you're in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and you have no fucking engine, or like for us, we spent Fort Kearney, Nebraska. We were there for like 3 days because our van was fucking engine blew up or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that's when it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks when you're stuck in the snow in the Pacific Northwest and you don't have chains for your tires.
Yeah, or you're in the snow flipped.
Yeah. Or somebody fell asleep at the wheel.
I didn't fall asleep at the wheel. I was sadly wide awake for all that.
Yeah,
I just started my shift.
Yeah, let's find some scabs that aren't in other local bands that we could talk.
Yeah.
Dude, I think what the trick is, you just find dudes that are just willing to do double, triple duty.
Yeah,
And just one band, just trade out singers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great.
You don't have to worry about like loading gear in and out. It just all stays.
Yeah, yeah. Be
In
great.
that case, I would let them have the bed. They can have front bench or whatever bench they want. Let's see. Dumpstruck Wizard or Dump Truck Wizard.
Yeah, I smoked Rodrigo.
Ah. He said, "What are a few of your favorite bands? New age. What are a few your new? What are a few of your favorite bands? New age record bands through the years."
Oh, Spawn for sure. Mouthpiece. Even Bound and Blood cover Mouthpiece, and nobody cared about Mouthpiece. I remember we played that. I was like, I was gonna pop off. We played it. Nobody fucking cared. But I love Mouthpiece. Trial. 1134. I love Dayspring. It's like Countervail. It's like probably the last new age band up until more recently, because new age is, you know, Mike's been signing some good shit, dude. But Countervail for a long time was like the last band that I was like, this is amazing. And it was crazy about Countervail, like, yeah, like Poison the Well.
Mm-hmm.
It was the opposite of Samber, but like Countervail to me was like so much better. Like they have some clean singing too, whatever, but they just went under the radar for everybody. But Countervail's incredible. Strain is another great one. But yeah, dude, it's like that was the first label. My first 2 hardcore CDs I bought was at Sounds Like Matt Platter at the time. You remember Alan Wu? Asian dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. He told me, he goes, "Oh, like you like H2, a 10-year fight? You might like this." You know, and he gave me 1134 and Trial Foundation. 1134 Reality Filter. And I flipped them over on New Age Records. And I go, okay, cool, whatever. Took them home. Loved both of them right off the bat. I'm young, impressionable. I'm looking for anything hardcore, really. So it was just amazing. And then Spawn, I went to CD World and found Spawn and Abananda together. And I noticed Spawn was on New Age Records. And I was like, well, the last 2 were great. And then Abananda was Desperate Fight Records with X's on the logo. And I was like, oh, it must be Straight Edge Band. Check it out. And then it's just like, again, just blew my mind.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say like those ones, like Strain, Trial for sure, are like my more, and Countervail. Those are like my more go-to albums. And Spawn too. I listen to Spawn a lot still. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I listen to a lot of this shit.
Sorry, that was like random. There's just a friend of mine. She was like a big Odd Project fan.
Yeah.
And
So random.
yeah, and so she gave me a CD that was Poison the Well and Odd Project, and I wasn't sure who was who, and so when I remember when I was hanging out with her, she's like, "What'd you think?" And I was like, "Oh, I loved it," and then I didn't say that they're like the ones I didn't like, and it was Poison the Well that I liked, and I didn't like the
Odd Project. Yeah, Odd Project is another band too that they should have blown up. That band was that. I remember we would play with them at Hoagie Bar Michaels a couple times, but after that, they were headlining Hoagie Bar Michaels, and they were doing cool shit for a while too. But yeah, they should have blown up. That's your dog, right? But yeah, that band should have blown up.
Did you hear her cry when she opened the door? She's like, no, because she knows as soon as it's dark, she just runs out there and tries to run up the wall.
Jonathan, 138.
Oh, Shelly, that's a Final Burden drummer.
Oh,
yeah.
Sick.
Says Galindo's or Studio 415 and why?
I would say Studio 415 just because that's where I had my first show with my first proper show with Bound in Blood, and just amazing. The video surfaced a month ago, and it's just I don't remember doing any of that shit. I jumped into the crowd and all this crap, and it's I don't remember any of that. But yeah, Studio 415 was cool, and Darasuum did our first show at Galindo's, but I don't think it had that energy that Studio 415 had. So
Where was Galindo's?
in Marietta, and Studio 415 was off of it was in Elsinore, off of I can't even tell you right now, somewhere after Lake Street, it's right after Lake, but yeah, it's just a warehouse. Letter Kills, I think, was probably the biggest band to play there outside of Bleeding Through.
Dang. Was Galindo's the storage unit type thing?
It was a glass shop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tear played there. Soul Search did their first show there. Yeah, they had some pretty wild shows too.
Is Soul Search back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, Crowd Kill Your Life.
Tony.
I'm 10. He said, what do you think about the IE music scene today compared to when you were first getting into it?
I think I just had this conversation this past on Friday or whatever. I think when Darasuum first came back, I think it was great, the community of it. Everybody was just uplifting each other. Mm-hmm. Whereas, during showcase days, there was us, Final Burden, Underneath the Gun, Torn Within, Suicide Silence, Oblige, Death Star. We're all stepping on each other to try to get to the top, mm-hmm. And a lot of band, what we thought was friendly competition eventually turned into real competition. Yeah. And what I liked about this current era is there's actually a community of people that are trying to uplift each other. I mean, it's slowing down. There's again, and I knew it would, it can't be that way forever, because everybody again just wants to, they all want to be on those cool shows too, and everyone's eventually just kind of slowly I'm not gonna push that one.
Yeah.
I was I forgot, I was messaging, I forgot, that no one's pushing our Darasuum stuff, 97 and a couple other people, pushed it, but for the most part it was just what the fuck, dude, none, a lot of our friends bands, weren't really helping us, push that release, which is fine, it's we've been on this end of the stick before, and again, I expected it. I knew it would happen. Can't be all, community driven, uplifting and whatever the fuck. But everything for the most part, it's still there. A lot of the friends bands still come hang out. Even Friday night, 97 dudes came out, Smoke dudes came out, hung out. Jules from God Awful came out. It's great, if all the bands could still just support each other, don't post this shit, but
yeah, just
don't, as long as we don't lose, that community and that friendship factor in it, and it could be a good scene, but going from the showcase days, it got sour real bad, mm-hmm. especially with Suicide Silence and Final Burden, there's crazy animosity with them, and Torn Within as well got thrown into that, but yeah, I don't know. I like to say it's the same shit, just different faces now. It's good until it's not.
Is it weird? I think we probably even asked this last time, but you got into you've been in this music scene at such a young age,
mm-hmm.
And so I imagine for a long time, because I remember feeling this, but it's like that feeling of like, oh, I'm one of the youngest people here at the show, and then now, not so much the case anymore. Is it?
Yeah.
I think for me is I never stopped going. You know, like I just always showed face and just got to know the faces as they come. You know, like going to Chain was kind of like man, hopefully I know one person, like I'm friends with Andy who owns Chain. You know, like if I even just see Andy there, I'll be fucking happy, you know. But you know, my friend Daryl was a security manager at Chain for a long time, so I would just go to Chain, hang out with him till like 2:00, 3:00 in the morning. You know, we're sitting in the parking lot until like I got comfortable with all those people out there, and then I started seeing those faces, and of course going to the shows out here, and meeting those faces. I really credit Jeff from he does Division 1 booking now, but like when he first invited Darasuum out to do The Void, I feel like that really like opened the doors for like networking with new people and like the new faces and stuff. And he's like an older dude, you know, he like remembers Bound in Blood and shit like that. I remember we played there and he was like asking me about Bound in Blood, and I was like, whoa, you know, like that's cool, like someone still remembers Bound in Blood. Sick. But yeah, like he really helped, you know, open those doors to meet people, because like had we not done The Void, Andreas from 5-7 would have never like asked us to like, hey, come play the Slab now, you know. And then we meet, you know, the Abominate dudes and the Sheiky and all those guys. So I don't know, I forgot what the question was now, but
it's basically just being the younger.
Oh yeah. It doesn't even bother me. I'm Unc or Grandpa Gabe or whatever, you know, and I'll take it, you know.
We need some Grandpa Gabe shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just never stopped going. Yeah. And I can't stop going. Like I'm like I told someone the other night, you know, like it's cool to see you here. I'm like, dude, I'm just stuck in it.
Yeah. There's no turning back now.
Yeah, dude, from 9 years old, you know. Like, you know, I got my wife, you know, I told her like right off the bat, like I go to shows. Like that's just my thing. I've been doing it since I was 9 years old. You know, it's just like I just need to go to shows. Even when I was in Paris, you know.
Yeah.
We walked all fucking day, and you know, I'm friends with Judiciary, the guitar player for Judiciary, and so like it was a free show. Like you know, all I gotta do is take a train. The ticket's already paid for. Just gotta fucking go. And but it's like I miss a lot of other cool shows. Like I miss Under Oath out there. I miss Turnstile out there. You know, Die Artist Murder played out there. You know, when I was out there, and I missed all of it. And but I was like, I got to go to one. You know, so I went to that Judiciary show, and it's fucking awesome. Yeah. I knew nobody, and it was so awkward until it really wasn't. You know, once I met up with my friend there, and it was just like, fantastic, just hang out. You know, so
I don't know if you know this, but you're like this. I don't know. It's like you've kind of like in a way you've kind of like fucked it for everybody, like in the best way, because like it always comes up whenever we talk with anyone, whether it's at a show or even here on the podcast, and it always comes like, man, I just wish I can get out to more shows. And everyone knows that you have a family, you work.
They're like, what's your fucking?
Yeah, they're like, Gabe goes to all the shows, and like, why can't like?
Well, you know, like, I mean, I have like a kind of like an upper hand in there because like a lot of like the venues, you know, are all friends of mine.
Right.
You know, like my friends I was going to shows with now own the venues. So you know, like, so I kind of have like that ticket in all the time. Yeah. You know, not everybody has. Dude, if I pay for a show and it's like 30, like I went to Selector and Skeletons at Glass House. It's like a $35 ticket. And it's like, fuck, dude. Like, it's like I used to see Skeletons for free at the barn.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's like, you know, I gotta, you know, obviously credit, you know, my friends that just invite me out to shows and they get me in a lot. But you know, my wife's not stoked even, you know.
Yeah.
Coming here, you know, she's like, what else do you got? You were gone Friday, Saturday, you're gone tonight for the podcast. What's next? Oh, I got band practice on Thursday, I got a show on Saturday. She's like, what the fuck? You know, so, you know, she's not always stoked, you know, it's like, you know, she likes to remind me, you know, that like, you're still a dad. Like, you gotta do your thing, you know, but it's like, but I got obligations. You know, I put myself into these obligations, you know, especially like with writing this full length. You know, it's like this full length should have already been done, and you know we just hit so many fucking walls with like people's schedules and shit. But it's like, you know, I told I gave New Age a certain time frame when we could get all the shit done, and gave ourselves a schedule to when we should be in the studio recording the shit, and we've already surpassed all that. It's like, well, now we gotta fucking get it done like when we can. So, and she's cool. Like she doesn't like it, but well, she doesn't mind it until I'm gone for 3 days in a row or 4 days. Like I mean, my ideal thing would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows.
Yeah.
But that's not what she wants. So.
Yeah, it gets tough especially when it's like we've had weeks where it was like, all right, cool, podcast Monday, and then I have torch culture practice Tuesday, and then we have easy out shit going on Wednesday, and then Thursday I have to make sure the edit's done, make sure everything's ready to drop on Friday, and then Friday there's shows. And it's like she didn't even see me for like I come in like basically, hey, what's up? Okay, cool. And that's it.
Yeah, even like last night, my wife was like, man, I feel like I haven't seen you in like 3 days. I was like, well, you haven't. Like, it's like you've had me for like 4 hours. And that's just from 10 to midnight, and then we go to sleep, and then I'm gone again. Do whatever. Go to San Diego. Like I leave at 1 o'clock to go to San Diego. Like for a 4 o'clock show, but it's like my thing would always be I just love shows. If I could take my kids to them all the time, I would. But I'm a social butterfly at shows.
Yeah,
I'm an extrovert. At shows, but introvert otherwise. It's like it's like if you don't, I don't know the regular citizens. It's like I don't vibe with you guys.
Yeah.
But if you're
with your people,
if I'm at a show and we could talk, about something we could both relate to, then it's like I could talk for fucking days.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't if you my advice for people with go into relationships, you just get out of the way.
Yeah.
I want to go to shows.
Just so you know.
Yeah. This is my thing. This is what I do. This is why I do it. Whatever the fuck. And get it out of the way. That way there's no fucking surprises.
Yep.
They can't ever use that against you of like, well, you didn't do this. Like, I did. I told you. I told you I did. Yeah.
You signed up for this.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, that was it for the questions.
Well, you want to do your mental health check?
We can do a little quickie. Mental health check. We would like to check in weekly, see where we're at mentally. If things are going well, what's going on in our lives that is keeping us in a good place, and if things aren't going well, what's going on in our life that's keeping us in a funk. Gabe, where you at?
So I mean, I don't want to like dive too deep into it, but like my oldest dog just passed away on the 5th, and that it didn't hit me that night because it was like we had the kids in the car.
Were you guys home for it? Or?
No, we were at my brother-in-law's house, and we came home, and my wife, like me or my wife will go in the house first, like open the door because the kids all pass out and shit. So she goes in, and my other brother-in-law is with her, and they go in the house, and 2 of my dogs run in the kitchen or whatever, and my wife is like, that's weird, like where's Winston at? And so she goes in the backyard, and the only one light we have in the backyard, it's just shining on him, and so she saw him through the window, just his body or whatever, and she's like, well, that's weird, it's like she thought like he's just sleeping or some shit out there. She went to touch him, and he's all stiff and whatever, and it didn't hit me then because I was like, hey, the kids are in the car still, like like cause I when I got my oldest daughter, or my son, maybe it was whatever I got first, I had him, and my wife's just sitting there like covering her face, crying and shit. I was like, wait, what? My brother-in-law's Winston's dead. I was like, wait, what? I was like, hold on, I go put River to sleep, put a blanket on. I'm like nothing's wrong. I'm like, okay, good night, I do love you, and I go, okay, what happened? She goes, Winston's dead. I go, what do you mean? He's like, in the backyard, and so go in the back, and we're just like, well, what the fuck? Like I picked him up, his body was like still warm on the bottom, and I'm like, but he's stiff, so we look at the camera and we just see that like around like 2:20 or something, he went out there, was like rolling around the grass, eating it like normal, and then just lay down, and you see him kind of like doing this and like shaking his head around, and he just fucking eventually, like, it probably took about 40 minutes for him to just lay his head down, and then he just, I mean, we can only see the camera, you know, whatever the video, and like we can only estimate like around 3:25, like he probably like finally just went, but yeah, so like that night it didn't really hit until the next morning when I was like, okay, well, let's go start figuring out where to bury him and whatever the fuck. So once I set him in the hole, that's when like I'm not much of a crier. Yeah. At least I try not to. Especially like my wife's probably seen me cry twice. You know, like one was like when Mitch died, of course. Like I mean, I cried for like 3 fucking days. You know, it's like she thought I was never gonna get out of that funk, and but I try to usually not to cry, and that I just couldn't, like, you know, it only hit me that day. Like once I put him in the hole, I guess once I stopped, my mind stopped working, I could reflect, you know, like what I'm doing. Then it hit me, and I was just like, man, that fucking sucks. But that's pretty much like the worst thing that's happened. But you know, I have a very big like life just keeps going, you know, and it's like you know, again, like Mitch was like the first time, like, I mean, he was like my childhood friend, and you know, I never hit a wall like when Mitch died, but yeah, with Winston it was just more like I think because we knew it was gonna happen. When we went to Perez, we left him with my brother, and we told him, you know, like if he were to die, like we just don't want him to be alone, right? So we knew it was gonna happen, but we had just gotten his blood work, and they were like, oh, everything's fine. So we're like, great. You know, we probably had him for another 6 months, maybe a year, fucking a week. You know, it's like out of nowhere. So that part sucked, but you know, I was lucky that, you know, it happened on a weekend when we had 2 shows back to back, and I could just really just like let go and, you know, whatnot. And I kind of felt more bad for my wife because, you know, she's like not only having to deal with, you know, the blow of Winston dying, but like she's dealing with 2 of my kids. You know, my oldest daughter was my mom, so she had 2 of them, and those 2 they could be a handful too, especially my youngest daughter. But you know, I felt more bad for her because she didn't really have that, like an outlet to like just let loose a little bit. But she did have she had a friend's birthday party that she was able to go to, and she had a good time. And you know, then the next day, like we could like function, you know, pretty normal. Excuse me. And yeah, so but I got lucky. I just told people what shows, like, you know, minimal dog talk, because I want to be show mode, you know. I don't want to be fucking sitting at Merch table all red-eyed and whatnot, you know, because that's what I'd been doing already, you know, in my in the shower and brushing my teeth and all that shit, you know, just so that sucked, you know. He was 15, and yeah, it was great. So yeah, we just put him in the hole, pet him a few times, and let the kids put dirt on him, and then covered him in orange leaves. I have an orange tree, so we pulled them off, and my daughter's like, "They smell so good." I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's cover them in orange leaves, you know. And yeah, but we had the shows, and so otherwise, up until then, you know, I mean, I was just living it up, fucking Paris and croissants, orange juice, you know, just a great time. So had no complaints up until my dog died, but even then, it was very, very short wall to get over. And,
yeah,
you know,
it's not easy.
Keeps going.
Yeah, I feel like, and you know, I don't know your dog personally, or
don't say anything about him.
But it's like we could have been friends.
Well, I think you know, like for my we lost my brother's dog. I think we're almost going on a year now, and he was 10 years old, I think, 10 or 11, and it was like really sad, but it was also like
earthquake.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, you felt that little rumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little earthquake.
I hate earthquakes so much.
Out of the way, Jesse, I need the desk.
Yeah. The nice thing is, if this thing collapsed on us, I think we'd survive. I think we do a pretty good job. But it was. I mean, that dog was so spoiled. So like, it's one of those things I remember. Obviously, it's like sad, but I remember, like, and I think they did too. That they were just like he lived a stoked little life, and he was super spoiled.
Yeah, and we tried to do that in the beginning, you know. So it's the one thing where my dad sort of got right, you know. My dad used to tell us, you know, before we had kids, like, oh, when you have kids, your dogs are going to go in the shadows, you know, like, because you have real people to take care of them. Yeah. And we were like, yeah, right, you know, because we took our dogs everywhere with us, you know, like Yosemite and Sequoia and all that shit, Valley of Fire, like, we took them everywhere with us. And, yeah, once we had kids, it was just kind of like, well, we can't, you know, have the kids and the dogs. Yeah. And, you know, everyone, you know, try to take care of everything at once, you know, and, you know, then we had 3 kids and then 4 dogs, and it's just like, you know, like, we always felt bad, you know, but it's just like, once they started stealing the kids' foods, and it's just like, fuck, you know, like, you guys are making it harder to parent these kids. 'Cause now they're crying and, you know, whatever, because you stole their food and shit. But, yeah, otherwise, yeah. It sucks. Yeah. Losing dogs sucks. Especially when you actually love them. Yeah. You know, you have those people that just have dogs, you know, that they don't have that family bond with their dogs. They're just there, you know. And we liked our dogs. We loved them. So if you love your dogs, it's a blow, you know.
Part of your life, man.
Yeah, you know, like I posted in my Instagram post, you know, that Poison song, you know, life goes on. You know.
Where are you at, Michael?
I'm good. Started the new job today. So,
how was your first day?
Good. I'm not used to dressing up for work anymore.
Did you make friends?
So
did you get bullied?
So there's nobody there.
Okay.
It's like everything's remote, right? So it was pretty much me and then like the dude that hired me. We came in the office just quiet. Just like, hey, just make sure you have all the shit that you need. And I transferred, so most of it was like we didn't have to do all the new hire shit that you normally have to do because, you know, I was like just going from one department to another. And so I was like, all right, cool. Over the next few months, you got a credential on this. Here's all the stuff that you need to study. Go for it. And I'm like, all right. That was it. That was like my whole day today was just starting to, like, I did a few things that I needed to, like, clean up, and then just started basically studying all this shit that I need to, like, that I need to get my, like, proficiency exams done to do my job. Yeah, I mean, starting tomorrow, this is my office. So
sick. Are you gonna dress up?
That's why I keep a flannel.
Right for the ass on the waist up,
just in case I need. He was even saying, he's like, yeah, dude, like I constantly go to meetings in like shorts and flip flops. He's like, I just don't stand up during the meetings. So I just keep, like, you know, I have 3 or 4 button ups that I just rotate. I just, like, they're hanging in the closet next to my desk, and I just throw it on real quick for meetings. And so I was like, all right,
sick.
So, yeah, it should be. It's nice because it's similar to what I was doing before, but it takes away the aspect of like having to like babysit people, right? Like in my job before, I would train people, and then I would have to essentially for the next few weeks make sure that they're doing everything that I taught them. Whereas now, like, I'm going from like they call them credential trainers and then principal trainers, to where I train the old me, and that's that. You go and do your thing. So it's kind of nice. It's like a step up, and then I don't have to like babysit you after everything's all said and done. So I'm sure there's going to be more things that I'm going to have to adjust to, that, you know, like having to troubleshoot for different people, different applications, shit like that. But like at the end of the day, I think it's a nice move, and the increase in pay didn't hurt.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so yeah, everything's pretty positive right now. So where are you at, Mike?
I feel like I'm good. I had a rough night last night in my stomach.
Did you eat Taco Bell?
No, I didn't. I just I think it was like carryover from
when you ate Del Taco. That's right.
No, I don't have Del Taco. I had like a breakfast burrito. It was like a healthy one. And I think my body's just like, what is this? Like,
what do you mean by a healthy breakfast burrito?
It had like mushrooms in it and stuff, and it was like a place that does like organic stuff. I don't know. It was good. It was a breakfast burrito.
It was a Los Angeles place.
It was like an LA thing. They really did do raw juice and stuff there. Which someday I'll have. I always like fucking because always like, I was like, how's LA? I'm like, oh, just hanging out with my LA friends and we just drink raw juice and just talk about movie scripts and I just can't do any of that.
What he said us from the beach.
Yeah, dude.
4th of July, we went to Hermosa Beach, which was sick because they had a Pennywise thing there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fuck yeah. And
It's probably more for white power, but yeah.
I didn't want to say that.
Facts are facts, yeah.
But yeah, one of Jordan's friends, he's been doing like this 4th of July party for like 15 years, like something crazy. And it's supposed to be the last year, so we went. And that's what I was asking. I was like, "Hey, do you have anything going on for 4th?" Because she was even like, "If your friends have something going on, let's do that." So like, I hit them up, and they're all like,
Please have something.
"Yeah, please have something happen, please." And they're like, "Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do that." I was like, "Fuck, dude." That's kidding. So we went to the beach, and it was packed, which not a
Miserable.
not a big
Of course,
fan
it's
of.
gonna be packed.
Yeah,
It's like one of the worst things.
yeah. It was. I
I don't
mean,
do beaches. I hate beaches. So.
I've actually come around on it as far as like I used to hate them, but like now I've gone to a place where like I have my chair.
Because you converted to
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah, I have
He was-
flip flops.
He has flip flops.
I have flip flops now. Showing my whole ass foot. And no, it was cool. And once I like get settled in and like then I have to go and choose who I want to.
Did you go in the water?
Never.
Are you scared of the water?
No.
As he trembles and says no.
It's just cold. It's just really cold. I don't know. What? Wow. I feel like. So I got a job.
Are we announcing
yeah.
that now?
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you put your notice in already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told Dave. This time, a lot less sad. They expected it.
Well, yeah.
They're like, oh, you don't like waking up at 3 a.m?
Hey, you stopped doing your Adele check-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I should probably do that my last
opening
week.
shit. Yeah.
But we don't play Adele anymore.
No.
It just never comes on.
So who's it now? Like Olivia Rodrigo or something?
I don't think we
I
have.
don't even know like who the
It's Taylor Swift.
like Lizzo or something.
oh man.
Dude.
Dua Lipa.
I know who Dua Lipa is.
Yeah.
No, you know what though? We do get a lot of good Earth, Wind, and Fire at our shop.
So like, you listen to the 5th of September
Mhm.
a lot.
A lot,
Yeah.
a lot.
It's July.
Yeah. But yeah, so I and I don't know if you believe in this. So I prayed so hard because I was like, I hate getting a job. Like I hate it. I hate the process. I applied to all these places, and I was just like praying so hard. Like I just want to find like the one. Like I want this to be like painless and like I wish I could just like sift through like what's gonna be bullshit, what's not. Because a lot of it's bullshit. Like especially for some of the jobs that I like my degree will allow me to get in that field, and it's just like annoying because it's for some of them I'm like that's not worth it for like the shit I'm gonna deal with these kids. It's like it's just not.
Most of those positions are not worth it.
No. And so I like then I like first like I prayed super hard on it, and then the next day I got hit up by this it's called I shouldn't say that. We should probably edit that out.
Beep.
Yeah, I don't think I should say the word because if things go south, I don't want to be like
That's
Fuck that place.
yeah. Anyway, so it's a place that
What's it called?
it's called. So my position sounds fancy. I'm a behavioral technician for children with special needs, specifically autism. And at first, when they were talking with me, they're like, they want to like your qualifications, obviously. And I've never worked with like that, I've worked with kids with special needs.
You're like, I do a podcast with a guy that might be slightly autistic.
Yeah. I did throw that up there. And so like, I worked with at-risk youth and stuff, and so I kind of just they were asking me about like my resume because they had seen that I had experience with like younger kids, and then I like threw out that I coached high school baseball, and I even threw out that I was in a band, and so they liked that like youth side, or that I had that.
Was this before they saw your hair, or was this after?
No, the girl liked my energy. But anyway, so it went well. I did like a phone like a pre interview thing. I answered a bunch of questions and stuff, and then they asked if I could do like an actual formal like interview that afternoon. So I did, and then that went really well. And then they offered me like position basically if I wanted it, and I was like, actually, yeah. Pay was a lot better because it's a nonprofit, and I think it's because I don't know if it's actually I don't know why. I don't know if it's more like because it's a focused, like they have the kids that they work with. I don't know, but yeah. So I said yes to that, and I have like my first training on Monday, so a week from tonight. And what kind of sucks for like that next week is gonna be rough because I still work at the coffee shop, so I leave.
Here's the commute.
Yeah.
We're talking the commute now.
Yeah, dude. It's so an hour. Yeah.
I was telling Jesse on Friday. I go, he brings up the commute every episode.
Yeah. So
almost like he's trying to convince himself that he loves it,
dude. And so I did. So next week I'm gonna still do. I'm gonna still work the week except Monday. I'll have Monday off, which good time on Monday, and then I'll be working in the morning and then training at night.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a long week.
You ever go to Asahi after work?
No, not that one.
Listen out, dude.
You know what? It is better. I actually I've had like my coworkers will go and like they can let me have some other, and I'm like, oh, this actually. It's just
dude.
There's too many things that I know. I'm sure it's better now, but it's I usually go. I like Okoku. That's
Okay,
like where
yeah.
I go.
Yeah, I go to SGC over there, a crossword showcase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I've been pretty good. I feel like that was like a huge relief because like financially, it's gonna put me in a better spot. I'm not gonna have to drive, 65 miles. I'll be able to drive 10 miles, which would be nice.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
So,
But
Jesse, make note, he made it 131 episodes before he quit.
More times.
Jesse never got paid this whole time.
what? Oh no, my schedule's gonna be sick. I'm just saying next week's gonna suck because of my training, and then I'm still my last week of Daily Bro. But yeah, I don't know. Things are good. This weekend was fun. It's such a it's so weird because I had like a chill weekend. Like we slept in, and it was like super nice. And then last night got to bed like early, like ready for work, and my fucking stomach, dude. And after I'd go, I'm like going to bed. I'm just like, yeah. So I don't know how much I slept or didn't sleep. I just woke up. When I finally woke up, I was so tired, and so work was like rough. So I basically just like trying to like nap all day. So
You're a busy man.
busy,
Yeah.
Busy LA dude.
busy, but I feel like I'm in a good place. I feel like it's just yeah. I feel like it's gonna be crazy, but I think that it's like good crazy.
Yeah, it's only up from here, dude.
Yeah, man. But
Sick. Well, let's add a jam
that jams.
and let's get out of here.
All right.
So, Darasuum song, and whatever else you've been jamming.
Darasuum song. Let's do Everyone But Me. That's just a fun one. And then for just what I'm jamming,
I think I already added Everyone But Me to the playlist. Let's pick another one.
Just do Drown then. I gotta pump the new ones, man. Those ones are
The new jams.
yeah. And then I'll do one of the bands I saw in Paris because they just blew me away. They had like that Walls of Jericho energy.
Sick.
Calcine, Calcine. Yeah, this song's called Denial.
I had a song where I was like, oh, I'm going to add that song. No, I can't fucking think of it.
While you think of that, I'm going to add the latest Easy Out jam, Get Off My Lawn.
Oh, nice.
Because I don't think we've put Easy Out on the playlist yet. That song rips.
That's the one with that program video, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that song's fucking good, dude.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. Adrian, shout out Adrian. He was the unsung hero of that music video.
Yeah. I didn't even notice it was a David Ceasefire that messaged me, fucking Adrian. I go like, wait, what? And I go back and I was like, oh, that's fucking Adrian. Yeah.
Dude, when we hit him up, actually, I'll give Karaima all the credit. I was like, I don't know who to put in the hot dog outfit. Like, and the thought process was like, it would be sick to get all our friends who like do heavy shit, because this is not heavy, to like kind of blend those worlds. So if you ever want to wear the hot dog, but like, so Karaima was like, hit up Adrian, and I was like, okay, I'll hit up Adrian. I texted him, he didn't respond for like a day and a half.
Wow.
And then finally he responds, and he's like, my bad, I missed this, would have to show my face. And I was like, yes. And he found the loophole with the sunglasses, but originally the idea was just to have him just standing behind the counter.
Yeah, flipping through the magazine.
Yeah, flipping through magazines. And then when we were there and we saw him in the hot dog outfit, we were like, we have to have him do, what if he did this? What if he did this? What if he did this? And we just implemented
Put him in
everywhere.
the corners.
Yeah. Even like the shots with like where Rick is playing bass, like you don't see Adrian anywhere in the shot, but if you look at the mirror behind Rick, Adrian is standing in the reflection, just like with his arms crossed. So it was all just kind of like it all came together. And then that final scene where we're all holding hands and singing, that was all him. I didn't even tell him to do it, and we were dying laughing when it happened. We were like, yes! So
No way did a good job doing that shit too.
Dude, yeah, the shots that he got were so clean.
I love that guy. He's such a good. He helped me with the video for Thriving or teaser or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And I was just I had pieced it together, and I was like, man, something's missing here. I was like, no way, dude. Can you like just like add something to this, like make it look a little bit more like flashy. He goes like, yeah, I'll take care of it, and then he sent the bag, and I was like, perfect. Like, and I'm so easy to please, dude. I rarely say no to anybody anyway. Like if I hire someone to commission to design or something, they'll get it back, and I'm like, because I'm a graphic designer, and I know how much of a pain in the ass for edits and all this shit, And if I don't like the design, I'll be like, how much owe you? Okay.
Yeah.
just take it, and I'll be wasting the band's money more or less, But it's like, but then I just do all these flyers and put it in the Venmo, and that's the band account anyway, and I make it all up. But for the most part, yeah, dude, it's like when he said that back, I was just like, so sick. Like, thank you, dude. Like, yeah.
Dude, shout out Noe, man. He deserves more credit than he gets, and then he gives himself.
Yeah.
He fucking rips it.
Yeah, he's great.
So,
all right, what's your jam?
Let's go Link 80. Nothing Left.
Yeah, it's a good one. The Killing Katie version is a little bit more superior.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Dude, I'll like sing that coming out done, nothing's done. Watch it roll fast, I'll waste away. Take it as it comes. It's all gone. I got nowhere to go. Find yourself a brand new time. Over the cricket line. Rules that chain doesn't the same. I was talking to Woe Photo, and he was like, "Oh, I was telling him we were talking about like vocal structures and all shit." And my inspirations are like Backside and Link 80 because they're just so like and it's just like he was like, "That's so weird that like that's like you go to those for like your structures and shit." It's just like, well, they fit so much in like little measures.
Dude. Like,
But I remember sitting in my room just trying to learn that over the cricket line, like just going like over and over and over and trying to just like nail that. And I remember doing that like a couple years ago. My wife just looked at me like, "You're fucking ridiculous." Like,
what are you
I'm
doing?
just sitting there like just singing it all fast and shit. But yeah, dude, Nick Traina, dude, was a fucking great lyricist. And
Did you read that book?
yeah, I have it on book and audio cassette.
Yeah.
The audio cassette hit a little different.
I didn't get the audio. I had the.
I think I let my brother borrow it, and he still has it. I saw it when I picked up my dogs from his house after Perez. I see it in the corner, and I was like, "All right, motherfucker."
Was it one cassette or was it multiple?
No, it's like 4 cassettes.
Like, you know, you get the book and you have like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
four
dang.
slots.
Yeah, it's and I think I found like at Goodwill or something like that, or like Savers or something. And it was like $5 or some shit. But yeah,
Sick.
That was like my first like introduction to like any kind of mental health stuff. You know,
Oh, yeah,
and how
yeah.
he described it and stuff.
yeah.
That book should get a lot more eyes on it. I feel like.
I'm surprised it didn't. You know, because Danielle Steele is like #1 bookseller
Yeah.
fucking type author, and
It's your son.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
I learned something new today.
Yeah. It was I'm not if I'm remembering it, but accidental OD, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, accidental, I guess.
Yeah.
I do. It happened so long. I met him one time. I was at Showcase.
Oh, you actually, dude.
Yeah, they played Showcase with Homegrown and Hangar 18, single handed. I forgot the year, but I met him. I remember meeting him at the merch table, and he was nice enough. Just hey, you know. But then like a year later, he's dead or some shit. So
Damn.
yeah, great band, good pick, great song.
Well, let's get out of here.
What did you? Oh, yeah. I was like,
What
what
did
did you
wear
bring?
the
the shirt?
Product placement.
We haven't played a show yet, so
Yeah.
we'll rock it.
Well, you want to plug any socials or anything?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, at Darasuum, 2 U's, 1 M, because people like to, sometimes they will Darasuum.
Or Darth?
Yeah,
with two M's.
Yeah, but Darasuum, HC, and then, yeah, personal is just X hates Gabe X. I do flyers, but don't hit me up.
But don't ask me.
Yeah, 'cause I'm already swamped in them, so. But thank you.
Dude, thank you, man. Oh, follow, like, and subscribe. Like, for reals, though. If you like what we do, follow
For
us,
reals,
please.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at Walking Blind Pod everywhere.
That's why he threw me off, because he usually starts.
We love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.